Chapter 46:13. It has nothing to do with Lei Hong? Meng Han was puzzled. I'll go to Bibo Tianfu to find you. Let's meet and talk. Duan Ling Tian decided to talk to Meng Han about this matter because he had to describe Yun Qingjian's current new look to Meng Han face to face. Good. Meng Han soon waited for Duan Ling Tian. At this moment, Duan Ling Tian explained his purpose. Old Meng, the simple thing I asked you to do is to find the person I'm looking for. It's best not to mobilize the crowd, because I don't want to startle the snake. Old Meng, what you have to do is to contact the saints of the major saint forces in the outside world, give them the portrait I drew, and ask them to help find that person. Just find someone, monitor them after you find them, and then pass the news to Bibo Tianfu. My avatar of this law will stay in Bibo Tianfu in the future. Hearing Duan Lingshan's words, Meng Han couldn't help being surprised. You're just a clone of the law? Duan Ling Tian nodded. This is his clone of the law of time. Although the strength is not as good as his main body, if he really wants to face Meng Han, even if it is difficult to win, he can still remain invincible. Old Meng, ask them to help you find that person. Don't say that I am looking for that person, just say that you are looking for that person yourself. Once you find that person, those who can keep an eye on that person afterwards can get you, Mr. Meng, a favor within your ability. In this way, presumably they will do their best. Meng Han already felt that he owed Duan Ling Tian a favor. If Duan Ling Tian hadn't allowed him to enter the Tongtian Tower first, he really wasn't very sure of surviving the taboo realm and achieving today's achievement. Maybe it will end the same way as Fang Yifan in the Feather World. Don't worry, you can leave this matter to me. I will personally go to the great saint forces in the outer world. Meng Han said with a serious face. Next, you, the avatar of the law, stay at Bibo Tianfu and wait for news. Shall I find someone to entertain you? Or are you contacting that kid Xiao Tianxi? Duan Ling Tian smiled and said, I'll just contact Palace Master Xiao. Good. Meng Han nodded, then said hello and left. And Duan Ling Tian also contacted Xiao Tianxi on his own, telling him that he planned to stay in Bibo Tianfu for a while and needed him to arrange a place to stay, but he didn't want others to know. Everything is low-key. No problem. Knowing that Duan Ling Tian was here, Xiao Tianxi was also a little surprised. He didn't expect the other party to come to Bibo Tianfu so soon, and at the same time he was curious about the other party's reason for coming. Duan Ling Tian didn't hide it either, because Bibo Tianfu will definitely help him find Yun Qingyan in the future. For this matter, I asked some of my casual cultivator friends to help me find it. Xiao Tianxi said, it was rare for Duan Ling Tian to use him for something. He was naturally duty-bound. After all, Duan Ling Tian in the past gave him enough face. The ancestor of their Bibo Tianfu, after stepping into the 7th level of Xian, in front of all the senior officials of Bibo Tianfu, bluntly said that he was able to take the most critical step, all thanks to Xiao Tianxi. After all, it was Duan Ling Tian who was contacted by Xiao Tianxi. Duan Ling Tian gave him Xiao Tianxi's face so that the other party could be the first to enter the Tongtian Tower and receive the benefits of heaven. Good. Under Xiao Tianxi's arrangement, Duan Lingshan's legal avatar, which looks no different from the deity, also stayed in Bibo Tianfu, waiting for the good news from outside. He believes that with Meng Han's current strength, it is impossible for the saint forces anywhere outside the world to deny him face. What's more, Meng Han will promise benefits. Meng Han's favor is enough to make those saint forces go crazy. And in fact, it is true. In the next period of time, Meng Han personally traveled all over the major saint powers outside the world, and the major powers quickly took action, mobilizing a group of powerful people to secretly investigate the clues of the Yun Xinfeng. It can be said that as long as Yun Qingjian's pseudonym Yun Xinfeng is outside the boundary, as long as he does not change his appearance on purpose, it is only a matter of time before he is found out. Of course, Duan Lingshan's true self was not idle when Meng Han in the outer boundary started to move. After saying hello to Zhang Shan, the deity went out in person and asked Zhang Shan to take him to the great powers of the upper 3 realms. Let the people of these forces also check themselves in their own domain to see if Yun Xinfeng has left footprints in their domain. Wherever Duan Ling Tian went, the forces of Jesuan in the upper 3 realms, no matter whether they were Jesuan or those without Jesuan, they all treated them respectfully. Some strong men from some forces couldn't help but change their expressions when they saw Duan Ling Tian coming to the door. They are all worried that what Duan Ling Tian did in Mingguang realm Qinghong Shengzong will do it again in their forces. It wasn't until Duan Ling Tian explained his purpose that they breathed a sigh of relief. Even after listening to Duan Lingshan's promise, their eyes lit up. As long as you find someone, keep an eye on them until I make it to the siege.
I, Duan Lingtian, owe you a favor, but if Duan Lingtian can do what I can, I will never refuse.
The favor of an existence beyond the realm. How can this not make them heartbroken? Suddenly they all moved. In addition to the upper 3 realms, Duan Lingtian also visited the other 17 realms out of the 18 middle realms, and greeted the Banbu Jesuan who was in charge of all circles. As for Jesuan, because he was afraid of Lei Hong's attack on Jesuan from the 17th realm had already left to take refuge. All the semi-saints almost patted their chests to promise that they would do their best to check their own realms, and as soon as they found the whereabouts of the target, they would contact Duan Lingtian as soon as possible. After finishing all this, Duan Lingtian went back to Nishan realm to wait for news. This time, he can be said to have laid a network against Yun Qingyan. Duan Lingtian made such a big noise. Even though those people kept a low profile, it still reached Lei Hong's ears. Lei Hong still stays in Mingguang realm. He received a summons from a junior brother of the Qinghong sacred sect, who told him that Duan Lingtian was looking for someone and made a big promise. Of course, Duan Lingtian did not go to the Qinghong sacred sect. The reason why the other party knew about this was entirely from his own friend. His friend was the most powerful person in another world respect force in the Mingguang realm, Yun Xinfeng. During this period, Ling Tian is looking for the other party with such a great fanfare. Could it be that the other party has some big secret? Lei Hong couldn't bear to think too much. Now, like Duan Ling Tian, he has stepped into the existence of the 7th level Xian. Letting them exist at this level, looking for a person with great fanfare, shows that the other party is definitely not simple. Either it is a deadly enemy, or there is something worth seeking. It seems that I have to go to the god-defying realm ahead of time. Lei Hong's eyes flashed, and he muttered to himself. He wanted to figure this out. If that person has any interests to seek, he might as well try to cut off Duan Ling Tian. Chapter 46:14. The Land Left by the Gods. In a canyon, 2 figures were surrounded by a group of people. Both of them were injured, their breath was a little weak, and it seemed that there was no way out. Hand over the things and give you a whole corpse. Among the group of people surrounding the 2, a middle-aged man who was obviously the leader stepped out of the air, staring coldly at the 2 veiled women in front of him, and said coldly. He didn't expect that after spending a lot of effort on his own family and several other forces, they didn't get the treasure. Instead, the 2 women, Huang Ke, who were practicing casually, took the things away, and almost escaped by the other 2. Fortunately, he was lucky and led people to chase the right route and caught up with them. He didn't shoot directly. Because the thing is in the holding ring of the other 2, once the 2 die, the holding ring with self-destruct function will disappear and annihilate with that thing. It's death anyway. Why should we give things to you? One of the women sneered. It's hard to imagine that even if she is in danger of life and death now, even if she has injuries on her body, and it is obviously difficult to resist the group of people in front of her, her eyes are still extremely calm. And the other woman beside her looked calm, but with a bit of helplessness. The 2 graceful girls both wore veils with little transparency, but based on their exposed half-faces, it was not difficult to see that their cheeks under the veils were also very bright. If you don't hand over the things, I will make it impossible for you to survive or die. The middle-aged man's eyes flashed sharply, and he bluntly threatened. Sister Fair, there's no need to talk nonsense with him. The masked woman with a bit of helplessness in that calm gaze shook her head slightly, then raised her hand to take out a jade slip that was obviously specially made, and crushed it. Why? The other woman couldn't help sighing when she saw this. I didn't expect to ask him for help so soon. We're still 2 people together. Huaner and Tianwu, who are wandering outside alone, may not have asked him for help now. Almost at the moment when his sigh fell. Ka. In the void, within the encirclement, it was as if a gust of wind had blown by. Immediately afterwards, the space vibrated and twisted for a while, and then a phantom appeared, which gradually solidified and turned into a substantial figure. How is it? Is it fun outside during this time? The figure that appeared was a purple figure, a tall young man with a handsome appearance, sword eyebrows and star eyes. After he appeared, even though he was in the encirclement, he still had calm eyes, as if he completely ignored the group of people who were staring at him, and looked at the 2 women beside him, and asked with a smile. I was careless this time, and being a sorrel didn't work. One of the women, with some helplessness, took off the veil on her face, revealing a peerless face, and said with a wry smile,
while looking at the young man in purple with tenderness.
Brother Tian. The other woman also took off her veil, revealing the same dizzyingly beautiful face.
This face, once revealed without the veil, seemed to make everything around her pale in color.
And this scene also made the middle-aged man headed by the group of onlookers frown uncontrollably. What a beautiful woman! However, now he has no time to watch these things.
His eyes fell on the mysterious purple-clothed youth, and he cupped his hands and asked, "Your Excellency, you." However, before he finished speaking, the void around him was already distorted, and then violently shook, and then his whole body was blown to pieces by the gust of wind like paper swaying in the wind.
This weird scene also made the expressions of the remaining group of people change. They even had time to raise the idea of escape, but before they took action, they saw a terrifying space storm, like a stormy sea, sweeping away in all directions with the young man in purple at the center. When this space storm passed by the two girls beside the young man in purple, it was like a ray of light passing by them, without any real impact on them. Then, when he rolled towards the surrounding people, he ruthlessly strangled them all. In an instant, the spacious canyon was filled with a pungent smell of blood. The young man in purple frowned, raised his hand casually, and disappeared in place with the second daughter. Appeared again, already outside the canyon. How is it? Do you want to continue to practice outside? The young man in purple is none other than Duan Lingtian. As for the two women beside him, they are his wife Kier and Li Fei. The last time the four girls around him chose to leave his side and go out to practice, Huaner and Feng Tianwu chose to go alone, while Kier and Li Fei chose to go together. Of course, continue, Li Fei said with bright eyes. Outside, it's still very interesting. Anyway, the land of the gods is a small world inside your body. You can show up at any time, and we don't have to worry about any danger. Brother Tian, Sister Fei and I will go outside for a while, and then we will go back to accompany you. Kier's pretty face was smiling like a flower, bright and moving. All right. Duan Lingtian smiled and nodded. Look back if you miss me, you can also call me to show up. You don't have to wait until you are in danger to come to me. Good. Kerr responded. Li Fei shook her head no. Before we separated from Huaner and Tianwu, we made a bet with Huaner and Tianwu. After we agreed to go back later, whoever came to you for help would be the most likely. What are you betting on? Duan Lingtian smiled helplessly. These four girls, are there such little tricks behind their backs? He knows nothing. I won't tell you. Li Fei smiled mysteriously, with a playful look, just like when he was with Li Fei in the secular plane in the past, and Duan Lingshan's thoughts returned to that time in an instant. Time flies. So many years have passed in a blink of an eye. At that time it was the startup period, every step of the way, and the situation was difficult. But now, the air is filled with the taste of whatever you want. Then I'm leaving now? Duan Lingtian asked with a smile, originally thought that the two daughters would keep him for a while, but they didn't expect that they were having a good time and wished that he would leave. Of course, he also knew, mainly because they could see him any time. Unlike before, it was hard to imagine. What's more, they are waiting hard for him to return from outside. Not long after separating from the second daughter, Duan Lingtian received a message from Xiao Mubai. After reading it, he couldn't help but frown. One dead and one missing? Xiao Mubai told him in the subpoena that one of the two superpowers guarding one of the normal gates of Nishan realm was killed and the other disappeared. The opponent's movements were extremely fast and neat, and it was already too late when Xiao Mubai arrived. Chapter 46:15. Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang took a walk together after receiving the summons.
Through the traces on the body of the dead, the two quickly determined. The person who made the shot was an existence whose cultivation level was at the same level as theirs. But now, in this piece of heaven and earth, except for some powerful creatures in the mysterious land shrouded in fog in some special planes, and the existence of the strongest seventh-level existence announced by the Tao of Heaven, besides them, there are only two other people.
Meng Han, it is definitely impossible to do such a thing, and he has no motive. Then, there is only one possibility. Region. It's Lei Hong. Xiao Mubai's complexion darkened, his eyes flickered coldly. He didn't expect the other party to be so bold, rushing to this portal of Nishan realm to kill people. Originally, he also thought that Lei Hong might come to Nishan realm to make a fuss and take revenge on Duan Lingtian. But I didn't expect that the other party was so cautious and only chose to sneak attack. At the same time, Xiao Mubai was also a little powerless deep in his heart, feeling that even if an existence like Lei Hong faced the opponent directly, he would not be able to do anything to him, and would be killed by the opponent instead. At this moment, he made up his mind, and then he will retreat and attack the realm of the world.
With his background, plus the last time he listened to Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang give lectures, and asked them a lot of questions about the four ways of heaven and earth in private, he is only a step away from the realm of respect. However, because of the presence of Duan Lingtian and Zhang Shan, who is Jesuan, he has not been in a hurry to break through. Of course, the main reason is that I was worried that the people of the Zhang family would not get used to coming to the god-defying realm recently, so I spent so much time taking care of them that I didn't have much time to retreat.
The pattern is too small. Feng Qingyang shook his head. Those two people, although they are people against the god realm, they have no close relationship with you, Xiaotan. Lei Hong, what's the point of killing them?
Duan Lingtian at the side shook his head at this moment. Master, I think the other person should not be dead for the time being.
9 times out of 10, Lei Hong did this to understand everything about me better, so that he can take revenge on me later. Even if another Xian was killed by Lei Hong without leaving any traces, it is impossible to dissipate all the breath in a short time. Duan Lingtian can confirm that only one person died at the scene not long ago. Because of this, he guessed that Lei Hong had kidnapped another person and wanted to torture him for information about him. Before taking revenge on him, you must first understand him. Just as Duan Lingtian thought. It was Lei Hong who abducted the missing strongest man from the god-defying realm. As for the purpose, one is to understand Duan Lingtian, and the other is to ask the other party if he knows Duan Lingshan's purpose in looking for the person named Yun Xinfeng. The most powerful person in the god-defying realm who was taken away saw his old friend who was on duty with him killed with his own eyes, and his face turned pale with fright. After confirming the identity of the kidnapper, he was in despair. Region. It turned out to be him? Lei Hong, of course he knows who it is. He is a super strong man in the Mingguang realm of the upper 3 realms. A few years ago, he stepped into the extreme 7th level, and became the 4th existence after the history cut off. As for Lei Hong's attack on him, it's not difficult for him to guess. It must be because Duan Lingtian from the Nishan realm went to the Bright Light realm to kill the 2 powerful men of the sect behind Lei Hong. He had heard that one of the 2 powerhouses who fell from Lei Hong's sect was still a world-venerable powerhouse. So he knew he was done. It was also because of this that he had the will to die. No matter what Lei Hong asked him, he didn't answer Lei Hong, because he knew that he would die, so why should he cooperate with the other party? If it wasn't for the power in his body being forcibly suppressed by Lei Hong, he would have chosen to commit suicide a long time ago. Humph. I don't believe your mouth can be so hard all the time. In Lei Hong's hands, there is no such soul-searching secret method that Duan Lingtian got from Wukong's memory that can target the strongest, but he still has the soul-refining secret method. Next, he began to torment the strongest person in the God against God realm. At first, the opponent could hold on. But with the passage of time, he couldn't hold it anymore. He couldn't hold his tongue any longer, so he could only express his willingness to cooperate with Lei Hong, and only hope that Lei Hong would give him a happy ending afterwards. Isn't it enough to do this earlier? What a cheap bone. Lei Hong disdains. And then, Lei Hong also learned some information about Duan Lingtian from the other party. Even the information about Yun Xinfeng that he wants to know the most right now, he got it. Duan Lingshan's wife is the daughter of the Xia family, the land left by the gods. Yun Xinfeng, formerly known as Yun Qingyan, used to be the young master of the Yun family, who was left by the gods, and Duan Lingtian was a sworn enemy. He was expelled from the house by the Yun family many years ago, and merged with the remnant souls of the Hun clan. Freshman, renamed Yun Xinfeng. Lei Hong was a little disappointed. I thought that there was some amazing secret hidden behind Yun Xinfeng, but I didn't expect that it was just a simple revenge. Just because Yun Xinfeng caused Duan Lingshan's wife, Xia Ningxue, daughter of the Xia family, to be imprisoned for many years. Duan Lingtian, in the Nishan realm, is actually only connected with one faction of his wife's family? He doesn't have a sect or a family? Lei Hong frowned. In other words, if he wanted to take revenge on Duan Lingtian, he could only get revenge on Duan Lingtian from the Xia family, which is a sacred place in the Nishan realm. As for killing other people, Duan Lingtian may not be upset. Of course, if he could kill those half-step world venerables from the Nishan realm, that would be fine. He didn't believe that Duan Lingtian didn't care about those upper-level powerhouses from the Nishan realm. It's a pity. I don't know where Yun Xinfeng is. Otherwise, you can't. Wrong. Duan Lingtian can ask someone to find Yun Xinfeng, So can I.
If I can find that Yun Xinfeng first, let him follow me, and make Duan Lingtian helpless to him. Wouldn't Duan Lingtian be off?
Ha 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 ha. Thinking of this, Lei Hong raised his hand and killed the most powerful person in front of him, and then went to the outside world, wandering around at the fastest speed. When he left the land outside the realm and returned to the Mingguang realm, everywhere in the outside world, a piece of news has spread and fermented at an extremely fast speed. Duan Lingtian, the strong man of the Nishan realm, wants to find out the enemy who used to be in the god's remains of the Nishan realm in the 10,000 realms and beyond, and change his name to Yun Xinfeng's Yun Qingyan. Lei Hong, a strong man in the Mingguang realm, deliberately targeted Duan Lingtian and said that if he has the opportunity to meet Yun Qingyan, he will try his best to keep Yun Qingyan safe. As soon as these news spread, Meng Han, the patriarch of Bibo Tianfu, changed his face instantly when he received the news. He didn't expect that it didn't take long for him to let someone secretly search for Yun Qingyan in a low-key manner, and someone immediately exposed this matter. Moreover, it was obviously Lei Hong's handwriting. Chapter 46:16. If it's just a group of powerful people from the myriad realms and the outer boundaries, making unannounced visits to find Yun Qingyan's trace, Yun Qingyan may not know about it before he is discovered. But as this matter spread in the outside world, as long as Yun Qingyan was in the outside world, it would be impossible for him not to know. Unless he happened to be in the closed door and didn't know what happened outside. Brother Duan Lingtian. Meng Han hurriedly found Duan Lingshan's legal avatar in Bibo Tianfu, and told him about the rumors that had spread outside. Lei Hong intervened in this matter.
His intention of doing this is obviously not to let you find the other party.
Obviously trying to scare the snake on purpose.
After hearing what Meng Han said, even if it was just Duan Lingshan's clone of a law, his complexion was frighteningly gloomy.
Region? This was something he never expected. As for why Lei Hong did such a thing, it must have something to do with the strongest man who was kidnapped by him. Lei Hong must have learned some details about him from the other party's mouth, and also learned about the hatred between Yun Qingyan, who was renamed Yun Xinfeng, whom he was looking for, and him. The most important thing is that Lei Hong knew that he was working hard to find Yun Qingyan. Duan Lingshan's time law avatar, after leaving the land outside the boundary, returned across the boundary, and returned to the body of the deity. Duan Lingshan's eyes burst out with a cold luster in an instant. Region. It's best not to let me stare at your real body. Otherwise you will definitely die. He knew very well in his heart that as long as Yun Qingyan found out that he was looking for him wantonly, he would definitely hide. If I want to find Yun Qingyan later, I'm afraid it will be more difficult than climbing to the sky. In a few days, Duan Lingtian received the news that whether it was the upper 3 realms or the major realms of the middle 18 realms, the news that he wanted to hunt down and kill Yun Qingyan began to spread widely. There was even news that Lei Hong wanted to protect Yun Qingyan. At this time, the circles of the strongest in the upper 3 realms and the middle 18 realms were also stirred up because of the wide spread of these news. Lei Hong, this is to completely tear Duan Lingtian apart. I actually think that when Duan Lingtian killed Qing Hong Shengzong Jesuan in the Mingguang realm, even if this hatred is completely forged, it will never end. The person Duan Lingtian wanted to search and kill, Lei Hong threatened to keep him. If these two meet in the future, a life-and-death battle will inevitably be inevitable. Now, there are only 4 people in the 7th level Xian announced by the Heavenly Tao. The 2 of them stood on opposite sides. Apart from being horrified, they were also very curious. If these 2 people really faced each other in the future, who would win and who would lose in a life-and-death confrontation? Is it Duan Lingtian, a rising star in the Nishan realm, or Lei Hong, a veteran and strong man in the Mingguang realm? Many people are even more eager for the 2 to confront each other immediately and have a showdown to the death. Lei Hong, who had finished spreading the news, returned to the Mingguang realm again, with a cold smile on his face. Duan Lingtian, since you choose to be my enemy Lei Hong, you must be prepared to be targeted by my Lei Hong. Snort. If it wasn't for the existence of another 7th level Xian in your Nishan realm, I would go to Nishan realm and have a good arm wrestle with you to see if your strength is as strong as your character. From Lei Hong's point of view, if Duan Lingtian can still find Yun Qingyan after he disrupted the situation like this, then he really has seen a ghost. Because of this, he guessed that Duan Lingtian must be unhappy now, and he was very happy. The outer worlds. In the depths of a swamp, a light and shadow flitted across the sky in the distance, and came here in a blink of an eye, lurking in the dark. Whoosh, whoosh. Not long after, in the void above, two figures passed by hand in hand, with spiritual consciousness covering the surroundings, as if they were probing for something. After sweeping through with his spiritual sense, he didn't notice anything strange in the depths of the swamp, and gradually drifted away. At this time, a figure slowly walked out from the depths of the swamp. Almost fell. This is a young man with a thin figure and a somewhat gloomy face. After wiping the bloodstains from the corner of his mouth with his hand, his eyes were cold and his face was gloomy. He, none other than Yun Qingyan, who changed his name to Yun Xinfeng. On the same day, when he saw the text of the Tao of Heaven, announcing that Duan Lingtian had stepped into the 7th level of the strongest and became an existence beyond saints and world venerables, he was shocked and full of jealousy. However, later, he comforted himself psychologically that it must be someone with the same name and surname. However, he couldn't help but confirm it in the end. The result of the confirmation was actually that Duan Lingtian, it was really the Duan Lingtian he knew. He wished he could kill Duan Lingtian soon after. At that moment, he felt that the thing he regretted the most in his life was that he didn't kill Duan Lingtian when Duan Lingtian was so oppressed that he couldn't lift his head in the secular plane. At that time, it was so easy for him to kill Duan Lingtian. He could even kill Duan Lingtian with a single breath. It's a pity, because at that time his cousin's reincarnation desperately protected Duan Lingtian, and he didn't pay much attention to Duan Lingtian, so he didn't kill Duan Lingtian. He never thought that the ants in his eyes would catch up with him one day, and even surpass him by far. If I had known earlier, I should have killed Duan Lingtian recklessly back then. This time, he just knew that Duan Lingtian was making people look for him. What's more, he was almost killed by those two powerhouses just now. Those two people are his acquaintances in the outside world, and they have done a lot of big business with them. But they didn't expect that when they received the news, they learned that the Xian #1 from Bibo Tianfu Meng Han, the 7th-rank powerhouse, was looking for him, and after promising great benefits, he chose to join forces to deal with him. He intends to capture him and send him to Bibo Tianfu in exchange for Meng Han's favor. Fortunately, before the two were ready to attack, at the critical moment, he heard the news that Duan Lingtian was looking for him, and the news that Lei Hong wanted to protect him, so he became vigilant. It was also because he became vigilant that when the two men attacked him, he was prepared and escaped smoothly. Otherwise, I am afraid that they have been held hostage by two people who were seriously injured and are on the way to Bibo Tianfu. Duan Lingtian. Want to kill me? It's not that easy. After avoiding the pursuit of those two people, Yun Xinfeng decided to temporarily leave the land outside the boundary, hide in the 10,000 realm, find a small realm to temporarily settle down, and avoid the limelight. As for the upper 3 realms and the middle 18 realms, he didn't dare to mess around. Those realms have a large array of guardians, and they can be sensed and discovered at the first time if there is an intrusion by the strongest. But then Lei Hong, isn't the strong man in the Mingguang realm, one of the 3 realms in the 10,000 realms, also the existence of the 7th level Xian? Threatened to help me? He has a grudge against Duan Lingtian. Chapter 46:17. Back in 10,000 realms, after finding a small realm to hibernate, Yun Xinfeng didn't stay idle, and went out with the clone of Law, wearing a bamboo hat to cover his dull eyes, so that people could not see that it was the clone of Law. The Law avatar went out to investigate, and he also learned about the grievances between Duan Lingtian and Lei Hong. Duan Lingtian destroyed Lei Hong's avatar of a Law in the Feathering Realm. Afterwards, go to the forces behind Lei Hong, Qinghong Shengzong of Mingguang Realm, intending to join hands with his master Feng Qingyang to destroy Lei Hong himself. Lei Hong avoided it first, but he still killed the current suzerain of the Qinghong sacred sect, as well as a Jesuin of the Qinghong sacred sect. Now, he finally understood why Lei Hong released the news to help him. It turns out that there is such an enmity between Lei Hong and Duan Lingtian. It's a pity, there's no way to blatantly seek refuge with that master Lei Hong. Otherwise, with his protection, it would be difficult for Duan Lingtian to kill me. Although Yun Xinfeng felt it was a pity, he also knew that he could not take the risk of contacting Lei Hong. If he made a wrong step, it might be a catastrophe. Now, there must be more people wanting to curry favor with Duan Lingtian. After all, Duan Lingtian is a rising star, younger, and has greater potential in the future. He has stepped into the 7th level of Xian, and he did not rely on the Tian Dao talisman. In addition, Duan Lingshan's master, Feng Qingyang, is another strongest 7th level existence in the Nishan realm. The wind is blowing. Thinking of Feng Qingyang, Yun Xinfeng felt depressed again. Back then when he was Yun Qingyan, the young master of the Yun family, although he didn't kill Duan Ling Tian because he was concerned about his cousin Xiaoning Xue, he also sent someone to kill Feng Qingyang. But unexpectedly, the old beast missed. Otherwise, how could it be such a situation now?
Who would have thought that the two who were like ants in his eyes in the past would become the most powerful existences in the god-defying realm today? You don't even need to do it yourself, just a word, and the Yun family, the place where the gods left him in the past, can be wiped out. The two Xians who had turned against Yun Xinfeng tracked them down for a while, and after confirming that Yun Xinfeng had escaped, disappointed, they still took a trip to Bibo Tianfu. Informed Bibo Tianfu of some information about Yun Xinfeng that they knew. It also includes several footholds in the 3 caves of the rabbit in Yunxin Peak. However, on Bibo Tianfu's side, even if they sent a half-sage to follow up, after a period of time, they still found nothing. Obviously, it is unlikely that Yun Xinfeng will appear in these places again. The thread is broken. However, after the incident, Meng Han still took a trip to the Nishan realm and informed Duan Ling Tian. After Duan Ling Tian found out, he was not surprised. When he knew that Lei Hong was spreading the news that he was going to hunt down and kill Yun Xinfeng, he knew that unless someone first pinpointed Yun Xinfeng's existence, or even captured him, otherwise he would have to fight against Bai Deng if he wanted to find Yun Xinfeng. God is still difficult. We can only talk about it later. In the memory of the old man Wu Kong, there is a secret method of bloodline tracing that can only be performed by the strong 9th-level powerhouse. It can use the blood essence of a person's blood relatives within 3 generations to trace and lock that person's whereabouts across borders. Because of this, although Duan Ling Tian was angry at Lei Hong's behavior, he was not too upset. As long as he steps into the 9th level of Xian, he can cast that secret method and trace back and lock Yun Qingyan's position across boundaries. A few days ago, he took a trip to Yun's house, and took away a few drops of blood from Yun Qingyan's blood relatives who were still alive, and stored them for later use. Now, finding Yun Qingyan is only a matter of time. He is not in a hurry. Boom. On this day, in Nishan realm, there was a sudden violent vibration and roar, resounding in all directions. The creatures on all the planes of the gods can clearly hear a loud noise. At the same time, in one direction of the Nishan realm, colorful rays of light appeared, dazzling and eye-catching. What is that? A vision from the sky. Could it be that there is a treasure born there? The birth of a treasure? I think it looks like a breakthrough by a strong man. I have read an ancient book, and this scene is somewhat similar to the above record. It is about the vision of someone breaking through and stepping into the world. All over the Nishan realm, eyes fell on the place where the rays of light appeared, and all of them were attracted to them. Before this, Duan Ling Tian, who was in a courtyard of the Xia family mansion, had already sensed the movement there, immediately rose from the sky, looked over there, and a slight smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Lord Xiao finally made a breakthrough. Even if the distance is far away, he can still be sure that this is the breakthrough of the World Master Xiao Mubai. With the background of World Master Xiao, stepping into the realm of World Venerable this time, his strength is probably not weaker than that of Zhang Shan. Duan Ling Tian secretly thought. Since he stepped into the 7th level of Xian, besides his family and friends, the most common person is Xiao Mubai, the lord of the god-defying realm. Although he knew that Xiao Mubai kept asking him for advice, it was tantamount to pulling his wool, but he didn't care. After all, when he was in his infancy, the World Master Xiao had given him great help. Say nothing else. It is said that before he left the Nishan realm and stepped into the outer world, the pool of divine Yun Quan he got provided him with great help when he just entered the outer world. The grace of dripping water should be repaid by the spring. This has always been Duan Lingshan's code of conduct. After getting along for a period of time, he also knew Xiao Mubai's insider background very well. He knew that although he was the power of many half-step world venerables in the Nishan realm, but in real fights, absolutely no other half-step world venerables could be against him. His opponent. At the same time, a group of figures walked out from various places in the Nishan realm and rushed towards the land of rays of light. They were indeed a group of powerful people from the Nishan realm. Congratulations to World Master Xiao, stepping into the realm of World Venerable. Congratulations, Lord Xiao. Now not only the other half-step world lords from the Nishan realm have arrived, but even Zhang Shan, an outside world lord, has rushed to the scene with a few half-step world lords from the Zhang family, and greeted Xiao Mubai who had just broken through. Congratulate. After Xiao Mubai broke through,
His hands itched unbearably. Seeing Zhang Shan present, Lai Xinqi immediately said, "Brother Zhang, I just made a breakthrough and I haven't fully familiarized myself with Xinli yet. You and I have a game to help me get acquainted with the new force." "How?" Zhang Shan laughed when he heard the words. "Happy to help." Immediately, the eyes of the half-step world venerables and a group of powerful people around them all brightened up. "I think this is the right time." Originally, they just came to congratulate the World Lord Xiao Mubai for his breakthrough, but they didn't expect to have the opportunity to witness the two world venerable powerhouses compete with each other. This is a very rare opportunity for them to observe on the spot. Duan Ling Tian received a message from Xiao Mubai at this time, inviting him to host the match between Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan, so that they can have a hearty battle. Chapter 46:18. Duan Ling Tian agreed. At the same time, he greeted his third uncle Xia Jie and his father-in-law Xia Yu. Both of them were very interested, so he took them with him. Since Kier woke up, under Kier's mediation, the relationship between him and Xia Yu has eased a lot. Anyway, this is Kier's father. Not to mention anything else, let's just say that for Kier's sake, some things in the past should not be blamed on the other party. I wanted to call the ancestor, but I didn't expect that the ancestor was already there. On the way, Xia Jie said with a smile. Just now, he sent a message to the supreme ancestor of the Xia family, but the other party responded that he was already at the scene, waiting for his nephew Duan Ling Tian to preside over the discussion. A group of powerful people from the god-defying realm are all waiting. I, Xia Jie, am also indirectly counted in the waiting list? Glancing at Duan Ling Tian beside him, Xia Jie's vanity suddenly increased. Compared to Xia Jie's escape, Xia Yu seemed much calmer. Of course, the heart is not peaceful. However, in front of this son-in-law, he really couldn't be as casual as his third brother. After all, he did not do well in various ways in the past. Only my third younger brother usually seems to be dissolute, but he never thought that when he finally looked back, he was the one with the best eyesight. Master Xiao's breakthrough, the most powerful person in the god-defying realm, unless they have something to do, they probably all went over to congratulate. Duan Ling Tian laughed. Xiao Mubai, the world master of the Ni God realm, is different from the other world masters of the Ni God realm. Those world masters have seldom shown up in recent years, and they are all seeking breakthroughs and wanting to go further. Because, in the recent 10,000 years of catastrophe, they all began to feel strenuous. If there is no way to go further, there will be 2 more cataclysms, and they probably won't be able to bear it. Because of this, in recent years it has been Xiao Mubai who has been presiding over various affairs of the god-defying realm. Even if it is a meeting of the most powerful, it is Xiao Mubai who is organizing and presiding over it. Knowing Xiao Mubai's breakthrough, a group of extremely powerful people who deal with Xiao Mubai on weekdays, why not go to congratulate him? Soon, Duan Ling Tian brought Xia Jie and Xia Yu to the scene. Master Duan Ling Tian. Master Duan Ling Tian. A group of supreme beings from the Nishan realm saluted Duan Ling Tian respectfully when they saw Duan Ling Tian appear. At this time, Duan Ling Tian also discovered that behind many of the most powerful people, there were still some people, and 9 out of 10 were their juniors and juniors, who came to watch the battle of the world venerable together. But, can they see Jizen's movements clearly? With this thought, Duan Ling Tian thought of Xia Jie and Xia Yu who he had brought over, and was relieved for a moment. Xia Jie and Xia Yu must also not be able to see Jie Zun's movements clearly. The reason why they are interested may be more because they feel that it is a great honor to be on the occasion of the world venerable battle. Little brother. After Duan Ling Tian greeted Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan, a sudden and pleasant voice came from not far away, attracting Duan Lingshan's attention. When Duan Ling Tian heard the words, he looked over at a glance, and soon saw 3 familiar figures. It is the 3 people from the inner palace of Wanfa Academy. The second senior brother Hong Yifeng, the third senior brother Yang Yuchen, and the 4th senior sister Lang Chunyuan. It was Lang Chunyuan who greeted him. 4th senior sister. Duan Ling Tian greeted her with a smile. This 4th senior sister, after he stepped into the 7th level of Xian and returned to the god-defying realm, he went to the Wanfa Academy. At that time, she was left alone in the inner palace. The second senior brother Hong Yifeng and the 3rd senior brother Yang Yuchen were not there. According to what the 4th senior sister said, the 2 senior brothers had gone to a place outside the boundary. It was taken away by the elder sister Huangfu Mengyuan. Although it is known that he has become the 2nd strongest existence of the 7th level after the historical cutoff, and can be called invincible. But this fourth senior sister still does not change her original intention and calls him a junior brother. Make him feel gracious. After all, since he has achieved what he is today, except for his relatives and family members, few people can treat him as freely as they did in the past. At that time, he stayed in the inner palace of Wanfa Academy for a few days, and gave this fourth senior sister some treasures that were helpful to her cultivation, as well as a supreme power. Only then left. Before leaving, he also said hello to the other party. If you encounter any trouble, you can go to the Xia family, the land of the gods, to find him. Duan Ling Tian also has different feelings for the inner palace lineage of Wanfa Academy. Not only this little senior sister, but those two senior brothers also helped him a lot in his growth. It can be said that he is able to have what he is today, all thanks to them. Second senior brother. Third senior brother. Duan Ling Tian greeted Lang Chunyuan with a smile, while looking at Hong Yifeng and Yang Yuchen. Not seen for many years, Hong Yifeng hasn't changed much. On the contrary, Yang Yuchen's aura is even more dusty, and there is a kind of sublimation in temperament. Presumably it is a breakthrough in the four realms of heaven and earth. Little brother. Yang Yuchen greeted with a smile. He was the one who invited Duan Ling Tian to enter the inner palace of Wanfa Academy back then. It can be said that he and Duan Ling Tian are the most familiar. In addition, when he came back recently, he heard the fourth junior sister talk about the return of this little junior, so he didn't intend to increase the sense of distance between himself and this little junior. Small. The second senior brother Hong Yifeng seemed to be a little hesitant, and carefully glanced at the leading woman in front of him. Before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by the other party. Third junior brother. Fourth junior sister. You are too rude. This is one of the only two 7th level powerhouses in our god-defying realm. We must respectfully call you master. The one who spoke was the woman standing in front of Yang Yuchen, Lang Chunyuan and Hong Yifeng. The woman was tall, with a pretty and dashing appearance. She wore a white robe, long hair like a waterfall, and had an extraordinary temperament. Huangfu Mengyuan. I have met Lord Duan Ling Tian. After the woman rebuked Yang Yuchen and Lang Chunyuan, she respectfully saluted Duan Ling Tian. Her eyes seemed calm, but Duan Ling Tian still caught some waves deep in her eyes. It is obvious that the heart is not as peaceful as the surface. It turned out to be the elder sister. Duan Ling Tian had already guessed the identity of this woman just now. She should be the elder sister Huangfu Mengyuan from the inner line of the Wanfa Academy that he had never met before. Elder sister. There is no need to be so polite between us senior sisters and brothers. No matter how high or low my cultivation level is today, I am still a junior from the inner lineage of the Wanfa Academy. Duan Ling Tian said with a smile. Before Huangfu Mengyuan could speak, Lang Chunyuan had already said, Elder sister, I told you a long time ago, junior brother won't care about these cliché etiquette. The last time I was alone at home, he came back to me and the two senior brothers. Although his temperament has changed drastically, his temperament is still the same as before. The junior brother is still the same junior brother, and has never changed. Chapter 46:19. Although Duan Ling Tian had never come into contact with the elder sister Huangfu Mengyuan in the past. However, from the mouths of the third senior brother Yang Yuchen and the fourth senior sister Lang Chunyuan, I knew what kind of person the senior sister is. Therefore, he has always respected this elder sister. Maybe it's I Wujiwu. This senior sister has stepped into the realm of the strongest? Duan Ling Tian discovered this when he came here just now. Huangfu Mengyuan seems to be already a powerful person, and it is estimated that she is not an ordinary powerful person. It gives people the same feeling as Xiao Mubai before the breakthrough. Since you have said so, little junior brother, then I won't be polite to you. Huangfu Mengyuan's gaze towards Duan Ling Tian also softened a lot in an instant, and said with a smile, they are all brothers and sisters of the same sect, so there is no need for politeness. Duan Ling Tian was also friendly, with a refreshing smile on his face. At this time, Xiao Mubai came over and said with a smile, Lord Duan Ling Tian, originally I wanted to introduce you to this new semi-saint powerhouse of our god-defying realm, but I didn't expect you to say hello first. Yes, you are still brothers and sisters of the same sect. You are a great elder sister. Before you broke through to the strongest realm, you actually became an invincible upper god, and you also comprehended the way of devouring in the 4 ways of heaven and earth to the 5th level. The invincible high-ranking deities have at least comprehended one law to the state of Dzogchen, and if the 5th level of heaven, earth and 4 ways are added,
They can be called the top among the invincible high-ranking deities. Such an existence, once stepping into the realm of the strongest, is directly a half-step world venerable. When introducing Huangfu Mengyuan, Xiao Mubai's eyes were also very complicated. Huangfu Mengyuan was also a rising star that he had paid attention to very early on, even before Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang paid attention to Huangfu Mengyuan. If there is no Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang, in this era, Huangfu Mengyuan is definitely thriving. It's a pity that she was not very lucky, dancing with two real evildoers at the same time, the original talent of the evildoer unparalleled, but it seems not very top-notch. It was only today that I found out that she broke through to the strongest state in the outer world, and came back with the strength of a half-step world venerable. While Xiao Mubai sighed, he looked relieved. From now on, we have one more half-step world venerable in the Nishan realm. Besides, I'm afraid it won't take long for her to catch up with me and step into the realm of venerable realm. After all, she is much younger than me. Xiao Mubai is really optimistic about Huangfu Mengyuan. As soon as Xiao Mubai finished his sentence, before Duan Lingtian could respond, the attention of a group of powerful people against the god realm present were all attracted by Huangfu Mengyuan. Half-step world venerable? This one turned out to be a half-step world venerable? How could such a terrifying evildoer come out of the inner palace of the Wanfa Academy? Duan Lingtian is fine. But now there is another Huangfu Mengyuan? It's outrageous! Congratulations, big sister. You have made a breakthrough and become a half-step world venerable. Duan Lingtian came back to his senses, and congratulated Huangfu Mengyuan repeatedly. You know, before that, the elder sister he learned from the two senior brothers was the stronger high-ranking deity. But I didn't expect that it turned out to be an invincible high-ranking god, and some time ago, he stepped into the strongest realm and became a half-step world venerable. You are incomparable with the younger brother. Huangfu Mengyuan shook her head. Little brother, when you step into the 7th level of the strongest and let the heavens tell the world for you, I am still just a high-ranking god. If you and Master Feng Qingyang hadn't stepped into the 7th level of Xion one after another, causing the heaven to lower the Tiantian Tower, even if I encountered an opportunity to step into the Xion some time ago, I probably wouldn't touch it, let alone step on it. Into Xion. In the past, although she was an invincible high-ranking god, she was not in a hurry to step into the strongest realm. Because, she wants to challenge the forbidden realm heavenly tribulation, at the level of the upper gods. Although, in the history of the myriad realms and even the outer worlds, all the high-ranking gods who tried the taboo realm of the heavenly tribulation all died under the heavenly tribulation, but she still wanted to try it. Once she successfully passes through, she will break the shackles and become the first existence to survive the taboo realm after the historical partition, and she is expected to achieve the 7th level of the strongest, surpassing Jesuin and saints. However, just in the process of her efforts, suddenly one day, the text of the Way of Heaven appeared and told her, there is someone who has already been one step ahead of her. With the cultivation base of a higher god, he has survived the taboo realm, and even Tian Dao said that he is expected to become the first 7th level powerhouse after the history is cut off. And this person was no stranger to her, who had two junior brothers by her side at that time. Duan Lingtian from the anti-god realm. This is her little junior whom she has never met. The junior brother of the inner palace of Wanfa Academy. It was Yang Yuchen, the third junior brother who knew the pearl with his eyes, and brought back the potential stocks of the inner palace lineage of the Wanfa Academy. Of course, even her third junior brother Yang Yuchen never dreamed that their little junior brother would one day walk ahead of her senior sister. At that time she was shocked. In this era she was living in, there was such a crucial step taken by a high-ranking deity. She sees hope, the dawn is now, lead her forward. What she didn't expect was that not long after, another person survived the taboo realm, and he did so as a middle-level god, and he also came from the god-defying realm like her. According to what her third junior brother said, this person has the same name and surname as the junior brother's master, and 9 times out of 10 they are the same person. At that moment, in addition to being shocked in her heart, she couldn't help but feel a kind of, since she was born in heaven and yang, how could she be born in Mengyuan, thoughts. After that, she watched the words of the Tao of Heaven appear again, announcing that the two had entered the 7th level of the strongest one after another, becoming existences above saints and world venerables. She is already prepared, even if the call of the most powerful realm comes again, she will refuse all of them, just because she wants to be like her little brother, with a cultivation base of a higher to survive the catastrophe of the taboo realm. Because, with the cultivation base of the strongest realm, it is almost impossible to survive the catastrophe of the taboo realm. The difficulty is recognized to be greater than that of the upper gods. Some people even bluntly said that the comparison between the two is a world of difference. Otherwise, after the history is cut off, it is impossible that no such existence was born. Not long after, the Tian pagoda appeared, and the amulet of heaven came, and then there was a saint from a place outside the world, and a world venerable from 1,000 realms successfully passed the taboo realm. At that moment, she knew that even if she became the strongest, she still had the hope of taking that step. Therefore, the call of the most powerful realm appeared later, and she accepted the guidance, stepped into the most powerful realm, and became a half-step world lord.
Chapter 46-20. Miss Eldermaster is absurd. I'm just lucky. After Duan Lingtian smiled lightly, he looked at Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan at the side, and said, after the discussion between Lord Xiao and the others is over, I will have a good talk with my senior sisters and senior brothers. Good. Huangfu Mengyuan also nodded with a chuckle. Her purpose of coming this time was naturally to witness the exchange between Realm Master Xiao and Jesuan Zhang Shan, who came from the Ascension realm. It is not always possible to see the world respecting each other. At least, she had never seen it with her own eyes. Master Duan Lingtian, in fact, we are not in a hurry. You seniors and brothers can talk about the past first. Zhang Shan said repeatedly. Extremely humble. This is Lord Duan Lingtian. Not only is he powerful, but he also saved his life. Wait a minute. What happened? He's okay. Yeah, we can discuss it later. Xiao Mubai also followed suit. No, it's fine for me and my senior sister and senior brother to go back and talk about the past in private. As Duan Lingshan's words fell, a group of the most powerful people in the god-defying realm around him dispersed to watch, their eyes filled with anticipation. Although, this Duan Lingtian and others reminisce about the old days in public, they have no objection. However, he did not forget the purpose of this trip. Watch the battle of the world soon. Under the auspices of Duan Lingtian, Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan entered his inner body to fight in the small world. He specially allocated an area for them to have a hearty battle. Others also entered to watch the battle nearby. There is no need to hide too far, with Duan Lingtian present to protect them. Everyone can clearly see the movements of Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan who are right in front of them. Of course, when the two moved fast, most people still couldn't see clearly. After all, among the people present, there were only a few people above half-step world venerables. Apart from a few old world lords, there was only one Huangfu Mengyuan who was half-step world lord. As for the others, those who are stronger than the 4th level are okay, and the rest of the strongest and those who are not even the strongest are more to feel an atmosphere. Because, when Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan moved, they couldn't see anything clearly. They only saw two afterimages flashing and crossing each other. It was ridiculously fast. Lord Xiao adapts so quickly. Several old world masters, as well as Huangfu Mengyuan, also discovered in the process that Xiao Mubai was at a disadvantage at the beginning. But as the number of rounds increased, he gradually regained the advantage. After 100 tricks, he was on par with Zhang Shan. Of course, both of them didn't use the law to clone. It was just a confrontation between the real deities. After all, it was just a competition, not a fight for life and death. But, even so, Zhang Shan is still under great pressure. Now, a group of people are watching, even Lord Duan Lingtian is present. It seems that it is impossible for him to take down a person who has just broken through to the realm of respect. But later on he was helpless. Xiao Mubai, after getting used to it further, actually vaguely gained the upper hand. In the end, when he was thinking about whether he should use the law clone first, Xiao Mubai stopped first, and said with a smile, Brother Zhang, let's count it as a tie for you and me today. Thank you for helping me familiarize myself with the power of Jiezun today. Hearing Xiao Mubai's words, Zhang Shan's eyes immediately showed gratitude, because he could tell that Xiao Mubai was giving him face and giving him a step down. Duan Lingtian was the only one who could see this at the scene. Even Huangfu Mengyuan and other half-step world venerables only thought that Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan were really tied. Even so, they were still shocked by Xiao Mubai's history. As soon as he broke through, he was able to draw a tie with Zhang Shan, who had been famous in the upper 3 realms for many years, and was able to draw a tie. Zhang Shan, although he is not a top-notch world venerable in the upper 3 realms, he is still very famous as a world venerable, not only famous in the upper 3 realms, but also famous in the middle 18 realms. The most powerful people in the god-defying realm present basically knew Zhang Shan's existence long ago. A contest between Jesuin left the presence of several half-step Jesuin and the existence of the fourth-level Zeon still unsatisfied, and they wished for another confrontation between the two. Of course, they also know that this match has ended, and if they want to watch the two fight again, they may have to wait until the next time the two make an appointment. Congratulations to Realm Master Xiao. You have such combat power just after entering the realm of the realm. This is my blessing against the God realm. Several old world masters congratulated Xiao Mubai one after another, and their eyes were full of envy. At the same time they said to Xiao Mubai through sound transmission, Master Xiao, I don't know if you can ask Lord Duan Lingtian to give us a small stove when you have time? Xiao Mubai was able to break through so quickly. Of course there was a reason why Xiao Muqian was more talented than them, but they also knew that it was absolutely impossible to break through so quickly with Xiao Mubai alone. Among them, a large part of the reason is because Xiao Mubai and Duan Lingtian are close. If you get close, you will naturally get the moon first. Asking some questions about cultivation and listening to the other party's sermons are just commonplace. I can only say my best. Xiao Mubai naturally didn't dare to promise. After all, even if he asked Duan Lingtian himself to ask questions, he himself felt a little embarrassed when he came down many times. Of course, he had given Duan Lingtian some help before Duan Lingtian grew up. However, those help, if you really count it seriously, Duan Lingtian has already paid it off. Now, he owes Duan Lingtian everything. Moreover, he will definitely continue to ask Duan Lingtian for advice in the future. His next goal is to enter the Tongtian Tower, pass through many checkpoints, and get the talisman of the Tao of Heaven. And then, he will hit the Zeon 7th level to fulfill his father's unfulfilled dream. Therefore, the most he can do is to help a few people raise their mouths. As for the outcome, the decision rests entirely with Duan Lingtian himself. Everyone. Then I will leave first with my senior sister and senior brother. Duan Lingtian looked around at Xiao Mubai, Zhang Shan and others, nodded his head, then greeted Huangfu Mengyuan and the others, and followed them back to the inner palace of Wanfa Academy. Without disturbing the others, they directly returned to the independent plain where the inner palace lineage was located. As for Xia Jie and Xia Yu, they returned to the Xia family with the ancestor of the most powerful person in the Xia family. Junior brother, you and your master are both at the 7th level of the strongest. Your strength is about the same, or are you stronger than him? Fourth senior sister Lang Chunyuan blinked her big eyes, asking Duan Lingtian like a curious baby. In fact, she wanted to ask a long time ago, but the elder sister has been staring at her, making her unable to talk. Roughly the same. Duan Lingtian smiled and said, it is naturally impossible not to give face to his master, even if it is not the case. In the next chat with several senior brothers and sisters, Duan Lingtian lost his mind for a while. After being distracted for a moment, he came back to his senses. There was something wrong with the land left behind by the gods, but the Time Law avatar he stayed at Xia's side could solve it. It was his son Duan Yentian who was asking him for help. Chapter 46-21. That day, when he broke through and achieved the 7th level of cultivation, when he returned to Nishan Realm to reunite with his parents and wife, his two children, Duan Yentian and Duan Xiling, were wandering outside. Later, they waited until they came back, and finally followed him to the land left by the gods. They were also the first to ask to venture outside. As his children, they regard him as an idol, especially after knowing that the Ni Shin Realm Duan Lingtian announced in Tyando's text is their father. They are like chicken blood. They all want to walk a legendary road and prove to the world that a tiger father has no dog sons, and a tiger father has no dog daughters. Speaking of which, the reason why his wives wanted to make a fortune in the future was because of the influence of the two youngsters, and they all felt that they could not be compared by the younger generation. For a while, it made him a lonely man. Of course, they are all in the new land of gods that has been transformed into the small world in his body. If he wants to meet them, he can do so at any time, so they are allowed to go. As long as they are happy. Father, has Xiling asked you for help? Duan Lingtian never expected that his son Duan Nianshan's first words would be like this when his Law of Time avatar arrived at the scene for the first time. This kid, is he still competing with his sister? No. Duan Lingtian didn't care whether to hit this kid or not, because he had heard that in those years when he was not around, he was the most jumpy kid, and he had experienced life and death several times. As for the reason why he did this, his own mother Li Fei also told Duan Lingtian that he was not reconciled to being inferior to his sister in strength. Speaking of his daughter Duan Xiling, under the arrangement of his master Feng Qingyang, she experienced a baptism of the Law of Time,
so that she has a deep knowledge of the law of time. In terms of cultivation, his son is not weaker than his daughter, but in terms of comprehension of the law, it is much worse.
There's none? Hearing his father's words, Duan Yentian couldn't hide the disappointment on his face. Now Duan Yentian has already grown up, with a tall and straight figure, sword eyebrows and star eyes. Between 6 or 7 points of the brows is similar to Duan Lingtian, and the rest is similar to his mother Li Fei. Who are you?
Seeing the strange appearance of the purple-clothed youth, several people besieged and killed Duan Yentian. Their faces changed, and their eyes showed fear, because they didn't know how the other party appeared.
What does that mean? It means that the opponent's strength is likely to be far above them. Didn't you hear what he called me?
Duan Lingtian glanced at them lightly, raised his hand casually, the void shook, their movements froze, their mouths that hadn't closed in time seemed unable to close anymore. Then, several people's bodies shook, and they were rapidly aging visible to the naked eye. The middle-aged people turned into old people, and the old people turned into mummy. In the next moment, the mummy turned into dust and scattered, and the old man also experienced the second change of mummy and dust, and disappeared in smoke. Under the blessing of the domineering law of time, the few people who were still alive quickly aged and even died, turning into dust in the long river of time. Under Duan Lingshan's law of time, the so-called eternal life seems to have become a joke.
Certainly.
Duan Lingtian was able to achieve this step, most importantly because the strength of the few people was much worse than him. If it were a Zeon, even if it was only the bottom of the Zeon's first level, he would not be able to do this step.
The law of time.
Seeing his father's attack, Duan Nyanshan's face became more and more bitter. He knew that his father was best at the law of space, but now he deliberately used the law of time. Is this meant to remind him that he can't possibly match up to his sister? After all, what his sister is good at is the law of time. It's also because Duan Lingtian doesn't know what his son is thinking now, otherwise he would definitely kick him on the spot. He is the avatar of the law of time. Besides the law of time, what laws can he use? I know you are so strong. You always want to compare with your sister. Although he doesn't know what his son is thinking now, Duan Lingtian is clear about his desire to compare himself with his daughter. But what I want to say is, don't lower your horizon so low. To compare, just compare with your father and me. Compare to your sister, what kind of ability and man are you? Your sister's attainment in the law of time is due to chance. Now that you have the supreme godhead I gave you, you will be able to catch up with her in the law sooner or later. The gap between you will only become smaller and smaller. In the journey of cultivation, the most taboo is to be fast in one discipline, and steady is the kingly way. As for Duan Yentian, it was okay to hear his father's previous words, but when he heard the last sentence, his eyes couldn't help but become weird.
Steady?
His father, at how old he is now, is standing on top of a group of old antiques. As far as he is concerned, is he ashamed to mention steady?
Okay, you can continue your training. I'll go see your sister.
Seeing his son's strange gaze, Duan Lingtian waved his hand impatiently, then sensed the position of his daughter Duan Xiling, and passed. When he found his daughter, Duan Lingtian found that she was cultivating in an inn in a city. The surroundings were quiet and there was no danger. Seeing this, he looked satisfied. It was his daughter who reassured him. He didn't show up, just waited quietly for a while, and then left. If the daughter really wanted to be in danger, she would naturally crush the jade slips he gave her. When Duan Lingshan's law of time avatar returned to Xia's house, his deity also learned what happened after he left in the communication with the senior brothers and senior sisters from the inner palace of Wanfa Academy. Not long after he left the god-defying realm and went to a place outside the realm, the elder sister Huangfu Mengyuan came back, took away 2 senior brothers, and took them to a place outside the realm. The younger junior sister is left alone to guard the line of the inner palace. Although this time was the first time meeting with the senior sister Huangfu Mengyuan, after some exchanges after getting to know each other, he still couldn't help but sigh how enchanting the senior sister is. Although she is a daughter, her talent is not inferior to that of a man, and the opportunities are not bad, otherwise it would be difficult to achieve such achievements at such an age. Among the most powerful people in the Nishan realm, the world lord Xiao Mubai is considered young, and he once set a record as the youngest half-step world venerable in the Nishan realm. And now, his senior sister has undoubtedly broken this record. Little brother, tell me, I chose to break through to the most powerful realm and face the taboo realm of catastrophe.
Is this the right choice?
Huangfu Mengyuan asked. Duan Lingtian smiled and said, Big sister,
the taboo realm heavenly tribulation faced by the high-level gods is actually not that simple.
Otherwise, after the history is cut off before me, it is impossible that there is no high-level person in the world, or even the place outside the world.
God Venerable succeeded in crossing the catastrophe. Duan Ling Tian knew that the reason why he was able to succeed was because he had inherited this trump card, that the old man Wukong had remembered all his life. Chapter 46-22.
If he hadn't inherited the memory of the old man Wukong, he felt that the possibility of successfully surviving the taboo realm and the catastrophe with his cultivation as a high ranking would be less than 30%.
Now, there are 3 heavenly talismans in Tongtian Pagoda. As long as you get them after stepping into the realm of Venerable Realm, senior sister, you will be better prepared later. It is not particularly difficult to survive the taboo realm. Duan Ling Tian continued. I'm afraid there is still a lot of difficulty. Huang Fu Mengyuan smiled wryly. After Lei Hong in the Mingguang realm, Fang Yifan, the top world venerable in the Feathering realm who was as famous as him, died in the Forbidden realm. Since then, no one has survived the Forbidden realm. Jia, step into the 7th level of the strongest. Although she has just stepped into the Xian realm not long ago, she also knows a lot of news, because she also has a familiar saint in the outside world. Because she is an invincible high-ranking god, the saint was very polite to her. Even Lei Hong, it is said that after breaking through and advancing, he couldn't heal his injuries. In addition, he suffered from injuries for nearly 100 years before returning to Qinghong sect in Mingguang realm. Huang Fu Mengyuan frowned slightly between her words. Just because she stepped into the strongest realm after Lei Hong successfully crossed the tribulation. Before Lei Hong, there was also a sage in the outer world who successfully took the most critical step, allowing her to see the hope of further breakthroughs for the sage and Jesuan. Unexpectedly, not long after he broke through to become a half-step world venerable, he heard that Fang Yifan, who was not weaker than Lei Hong in the Mingguang realm, had died. This blow and impact on her is not insignificant.
Moreover, since then, there have been no words of the way of heaven, saying who has survived the catastrophe of the promotion.
As for the sage from the outer realm who broke through before Lei Hong, he was able to break through easily and healed from his injuries after the breakthrough.
It is said that it is also because he has the 4th heavenly Tao talisman.
Obviously, Huang Fu Mengyuan did her homework well. After listening to Huang Fu Mengyuan's words, Duan Ling Tian shook his head and smiled. Elder sister, actually you don't need to worry so much. Just like I said just now, after you step into the realm of realm and get the talisman of the Tao of Heaven, you just need to make more preparations.
Some people, because of the 10,000 years of catastrophe that the strongest must face, seeing that they can't bear it anymore, they have to face the taboo realm of catastrophe in a hurry.
You are so young, what are you worried about? Then Lei Hong and Fang Yifan, in the 10,000 realms, are indeed top-notch world venerables. But is their strength the limit of the world venerables? Maybe not. Lei Hong is considered to be relatively young among the top world respecters. But when he was your age, did he have your strength? After you get the heavenly Tao talisman, gobble it up and step into the 7th level.
You can comprehend a few more of the other laws to reach the state of lesser perfection. If conditions permit, comprehend the 2nd law to reach the state of great perfection. In this case, with the help of the avatar of the law and the help of the amulet of heaven, are you still worried that you won't be able to survive the taboo realm? To be honest, with the help of the heavenly Tao talisman, a talented Jesuan like you, with the help of the heavenly Tao talisman, really doesn't have to worry about the taboo realm of catastrophe. Duan Ling Tian not only thought of it himself, but also deliberately went to understand it. As for the person to know, it is Zhang Shan, the world venerable who led his family to migrate from the Yuhua world to the Nishan world. Zhang Shan has a deep understanding of a group of world lords in the 10,000 world. According to Zhang Shan, before he and his master broke through in the past, Lei Hong was relatively young among the top world masters in the 10,000 realms. Lei Hong and the others all have the opportunity to break through other laws, increase their strength through the avatar of the law, and surpass other top world venerables in the world. Because they are still young, even the next few 10,000-year catastrophes will not pose much threat to them. Lei Hong, if he hadn't been in a hurry to face the taboo realm of heavenly tribulation last time, and had waited 10,000 to 20,000 years for a further breakthrough in strength, and then faced the forbidden realm of heavenly tribulation, not to mention easy, but it would definitely be easier than last time. As for Fang Yifan, he is actually not too old. The next 10,000-year catastrophe is not life-threatening for him. Most likely he was influenced by Lei Hong, so he rushed to go to the catastrophe,
but he didn't expect to die in the end. After listening to Duan Lingshan's words, Huangfu Menjiwan's eyes lit up immediately. It has to be said that Duan Lingshan's words gave her enough confidence. Yes, she is still young now, and she has not even come to face the first 10,000 years of catastrophe as a powerhouse. She is already a half-step world venerable. As long as she swallows one step further, she is a world venerable. Suddenly, Duan Lingtian seemed to have noticed something, and suddenly raised his head to look at the sky.
I saw that the originally blue sky in the small plain where the inner palace branch of the Wanfa Academy Palace was located suddenly dimmed, and there was a faint electric snake shaking in the distance.
Ha ha. After I just said about Lei Hong, no one has survived the taboo realm, and I didn't expect someone to successfully cross the catastrophe so soon. Duan Lingtian laughed. He was very familiar with this kind of scene. Ever since he stepped into the strongest 7th level, his 5 senses were sharper than even Jiezun could match, and he immediately noticed the strangeness in this small plane. The scene in front of me is no different from the scene before Meng Han and Lei Hong passed through the taboo realm of heavenly tribulation and the words of the way of heaven appeared. What does that mean?
Undoubtedly, the words of the Tao of heaven are about to appear again. The appearance of the words of the way of heaven is most likely to announce who has survived the taboo realm.
Who could it be? Duan Lingtian had a bit of curiosity in his eyes. At the same time,
Feng Qingyang, who was in the plane of the heavens nirvana, suddenly looked up at the sky, just like Duan Lingtian. He also guessed what would happen next. Is the 5th person who has survived the catastrophe of the taboo realm. I don't know if it's the world master of myriad realms, or a saint from a place outside the world. Feng Qingyang's heart moved, and there was a little more expectation in his eyes. Boom! Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang's expected earth-shattering thunder sounded at the right time, disturbing all living beings in the 10,000 worlds and even the land outside the world. For a moment, everyone looked up at the sky. At this time, more people reacted. This is, the heavenly Tao text will appear again? Anyone else survived the taboo realm? Who is it? This scene is not unfamiliar to everyone. Some Jesuan and saints from myriad worlds and outer worlds who have recently obtained the heavenly Tao talisman and even recovered from the injuries suffered in the Tongtian Tower, but still dare not face the taboo realm heavenly tribulation, are all showing their eyes. Under their curiosity and expectation, the horizon changes again. I saw the dark clouds in the sky parted, and a line of golden words of the Tao of heaven appeared in front of everyone's eyes at the right time.
Chapter 46-23.
Congratulations to Agili of the Hongmeng realm, with the 6th level cultivation base of the strongest, successfully passed the taboo realm, and is expected to become the 5th strongest and 7th level powerhouse after the history is cut off, surpassing Jesuan and saints. Even though I have seen the characters of Heaven's Tao many times in the past, the appearance of the characters of Heaven's Tao this time is still shocking and horrifying.
As most people guessed, someone has survived the taboo realm.
Moreover, the one who succeeded in crossing the tribulation this time was the world venerable powerhouse of myriad worlds. Why is it the world venerable of myriad realms, and not the saint of our land outside the world?
What's the situation?
All the world venerables of myriad realms are so strong? So far, a total of 5 people have survived the taboo realm, and 4 of them are from the myriad realms. Myriad realms? Is it possible that they are specially favored by the Tao of heaven? People outside the world are all boiling at this time, thinking that this is not in line with common sense. There are 5 people, and it's okay to occupy 2 of them in the land outside the boundary.
But only 1 was occupied.
A world venerable of 10,000 realms has passed through the taboo realm. Wouldn't the next step be to break through immediately?
Many people think so.
And almost at the moment when their thoughts fell, a new heavenly Tao text appeared. Congratulations to Agili of the Hongmeng realm. After surviving the catastrophe of the taboo realm, he successfully broke through and became the 5th, strongest, 7th level existence after the historical barrier, surpassing Jesuan and saints. It is no longer an exception to break through when you succeed in crossing the tribulation. Previously, whether it was Meng Han in the outer realm or Lei Hong in the bright light realm, they all broke through after successfully crossing the tribulation, because without exception, they were all existences of the 6th level Xian. Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang from the God-defying realm were the only ones who failed to cross the catastrophe and break through. Because when the 2 successfully crossed the tribulation, they were not even the strongest. It's okay for Feng Qingyang, although he didn't break through the tribulation, but he stepped into the 7th level of Xian not long after he successfully crossed the catastrophe. Only Duan Lingtian completed the breakthrough after a long time after successfully crossing the tribulation. Of course, all the existences above the upper gods basically guessed the reason.
Agili.
In the small plain of the inner palace of Wanfa Academy, Duan Ling Tian, who was still staying beside the 2 senior sisters and 2 senior brothers, couldn't help but raise his eyebrows when he saw the name in the Tian Dao script.
He has heard of this man.
He is one of the top world venerables in the upper 3 realms, and he is as famous as Lei Hong and Fang Yifan. He is not even old, and is a generation younger than Lei Hong. Like Lei Hong, he is recognized as a young and top-notch world respecter in the upper 3 worlds.
This Agili.
If Duan Ling Tian remembered correctly, he heard from Xiao Mubai that before Fang Yifan failed to cross the catastrophe, this Agili had already obtained the heavenly Dao talisman, but it seemed that he hadn't attracted the taboo realm for a long time. Unexpectedly, today's breakthrough was successful and a crucial step was taken. Agili from the primordial realm should be well prepared. At this time, the elder sister Huangfu Mengyuan spoke. Her eyes were shining brightly, and the depths of her eyes were full of anticipation. If it is said that the death of Fang Yifan in the feathering world has greatly weakened her confidence. Well, what his junior brother Duan Ling Tian said just now, and Agila's successful crossing of the tribulation in the primordial realm, gave her strong confidence. Even the confidence is greater than before at the beginning. Whether it's Lei Hong from the bright light realm or Agili from the primordial realm, at her current age, she doesn't have her current strength at all.
They can all succeed, why can't I? At the same time, all walks of life in the 10,000 realms were also shaken at this time. Especially the Hongmeng realm, one of the upper 3 realms. In the upper 3 realms, Lei Hong, the top realm respecter in the Mingguang realm, was the first to break through. To a certain extent, it also put a lot of pressure on the other 2 realms. Many people speculated that Fang Yifan in the Mingguang realm probably felt the pressure. So after a period of time after Lei Hong's breakthrough, he chose to face the taboo realm of catastrophe. It just failed.
After that, no matter whether it is the top world venerable of the myriad worlds or the best of the saints outside the world, even if they get the amulet of heaven, they dare not rashly attract the taboo realm catastrophe, and they are all afraid of following in the footsteps of Yifan above. But today, the breakthrough of Agili, the top world respecter in the Hongmeng world, once again revived the hearts of these people.
Agili succeeded. It seems that Fang Yifan's death was just an accident. I don't know if Agili went back after breaking through. If he went back, it means that his injuries are not serious. The injuries he suffered during the tribulation are definitely not as serious as Lei Hong's original. All of a sudden, the powerhouses of the great world venerable forces in the upper 3 realms went to the Ada Gang tribe in the Grand Mist realm, which was also one of the great world venerable forces in the Grand Mist realm. Agili is the only Jesuan of the Ada Gang tribe.
However, after Lei Hong broke through last time, Agili left the Ada Gang tribe and hid from Lei Hong, fearing that Lei Hong would catch up and strangle him. Now, most of the people from the major world venerable forces going to the Ada Gang tribe are half-step Jesuan, and few Jesuan go out in person.
They are still avoiding Lei Hong. Master Agili is back? When they came to the Ada Gang tribe, they quickly confirmed one thing. Agili is back.
Although Agili didn't show up and they were received by other members of the Ada Gang tribe, since Agili came back, even if he was still injured, it must not be serious.
Can we gradually become Master Agili?
That's right, my uncle is also preparing to face the taboo realm of catastrophe recently. Let me come to Master Agili to learn from him on his behalf. The great powers of the upper 3 worlds came to ask Agili how he survived the taboo realm of catastrophe. For this reason, there are half-step Jesuan from the 18 realms in China. Even, Xiao Mubai personally came over to Nishan realm. With Xiao Mubai's appearance, Jezun's aura did not restrain himself, and soon attracted everyone's attention. Isn't this the Lord Xiao Mubai from the God-defying realm? In the crowd, someone soon recognized Xiao Mubai. The previous Nishan realm was just a mediocre realm among the 18 realms, and it didn't attract much attention. But ever since the people from the Nishan realm took the lead in overcoming the taboo realm, they suddenly made the Nishan realm famous, making people afraid to underestimate this middle-level realm.
Lord Xiao, you broke through? I didn't expect World Master Xiao to break through. It's amazing. It's amazing.
After breaking through, Xiao Mubai welcomed many people's initiative to congratulate him. Some people can't help but think, the Jezun from the God-defying realm suddenly appeared. Wouldn't he be afraid that the one from the Mingguang realm would attack him and kill him? That one, I'm afraid he hates the God-defying realm so much now. And at the same time when many people came up with similar thoughts, boom! Suddenly, an earth-shattering loud noise came out of nowhere.
Immediately, I saw a terrifying force tearing apart the space, like a meteor hammer whistling from a distance, aiming at Xiao Mubai. Chapter 46-24. The terrifying power made everyone present tremble. Even several world venerables including Xiao Mubai, all of them changed their expressions at this time, and they all felt the fear of the person who made the shot, definitely far surpassing the world venerable. It's Lei Hong. When the terrifying force was getting closer, someone saw the tall figure rushing after that force, recognized the person who came, and exclaimed. At this moment, everyone felt their scalps go numb. A moment ago, they were still thinking that Xiao Mubai, as the lord of the Nishan realm, had just stepped into the realm venerable realm, and ran out. Aren't you afraid of being targeted by Lei Hong from the Mingguang realm? After all, the last time Duan Lingtian from the Nishan realm went to Mingguang realm to kill the two sects behind Lei Hong, and one of them was Jiezun. Lei Hong is notoriously a person who will take revenge. Duan Lingshan's actions undoubtedly pushed the entire god-defying realm to the opposite of Lei Hong. As long as there is a chance, Lei Hong will never let the people of the god-defying realm go. Lei Hong might not be interested in killing the general powerhouses in the Nishan realm if they have nothing to do with Duan Lingtian, the world lord of the reversible god realm, and a newly promoted world venerable. It's okay if Lei Hong doesn't know. If he knows, he will definitely not easily let the other party walk out of the reversible god realm. And indeed it is. Xiao Mubai just came outside the Ada Gang tribe of the Hongmeng Jesuan faction where Aguli was, and was intercepted and killed by Lei Hong before he could enter it. Region. An indifferent voice resounded in all directions, and suddenly reached everyone's ears. Then when everyone came back to their senses, they saw a purple figure coming out from the dark place, and they shot like lightning, blocking Lei Hong's attack on Xiao Mubai. Crash! Lei Hong's offensive, meeting the opponent's strength, did not make any big movements, but stopped halfway, quickly lost, and even disappeared. The law of time. Many people exhaled in a low voice, and it could be seen that the young man in purple who made the move behind him was using the law of law, which was the law of time. It's Duan Lingtian from the god-defying realm. Someone recognized Duan Lingtian. Isn't Duan Lingtian good at the law of space? This is his clone of the law of time? I really didn't expect that he also comprehended the law of time to the realm of small perfection. Someone who knew Duan Lingtian better couldn't help but exclaim in a tone of astonishment. It was Duan Lingshan's law of time clone who suddenly appeared at this time. Even if it is the avatar of the law of time, no one can see that it is just an avatar of the law if it is not shot, if it is not probed by people in the same realm with divine sense. Duan Lingtian stood in the void with a tall and straight figure, looking sternly at Lei Hong who had come close and was confronted by him, who had been defeated by him. Lei Hong, you are really careful, and only one law avatar came. Duan Lingtian smiled contemptuously. If you only have one law avatar, I'm afraid you won't be able to keep the world lord of the god-defying realm today. Hearing Duan Lingshan's words, Lei Hong's law avatar sneered coldly. Duan Lingtian, I didn't expect that you still have the habit of guarding the weak in the god-defying world. Isn't it embarrassing for a dignified 7th-level Xian to protect the Dao for a newcomer? Lei Hong's eyes were full of contempt, as if he looked down on Duan Lingtian. It would be shameful if you, Lei Hong, killed me, the lord of the god-defying realm. Duan Lingtian sneered, and then struck like thunder, fighting with Lei Hong. Although with the strength of Duan Lingshan's law clone, it is not difficult to destroy Lei Hong's law clone, but he has no intention of doing that. It's just a clone of the law, so what if it's destroyed? It doesn't affect Lei Hong's deity at all. At most, it will take some more time to reshape such a rule clone. Lei Hong's avatar of this law, the law mastered, is also the law of the small perfection realm. In the case that Duan Lingtian deliberately hid the way of infinity and the way of control, it was a tie with Lei Hong for a short time. Boom. Rumble. The confrontation between the two seems to be understated, but every time they make a move, the void shakes and the space collapses. Except for a few Jiezun present, everyone retreats to the distance one after another, fearing that they will be affected. Of course, Lei Hong only drew with Duan Lingtian in a short period of time. Although they are also the law avatars of the small perfection realm, and the 4 ways of heaven and earth are also at the 7th level, but Duan Lingshan's time law is one of the 4 supreme laws after all. Soon after 100 moves, he faintly gained the upper hand. At this time, the gate of the Adagang tribe seemed to have been turned upside down and devastated, and the buildings of the Adagang tribe that were closer were also completely destroyed by the aftermath of the force. Suddenly, without any warning from the audience, Duan Lingtian and Lei Hong quickly separated and faced each other again. This scene also made everyone stunned. Why did you stop?
Duan Lingtian, with the advantage of the law of time, has already begun to gain the upper hand.
However, soon, several Jesuan, including Xiao Mubai, turned their heads and looked at the depths of the Ada Gang tribe.
There was a figure walking towards the sky unhurriedly.
Every step he took, the void was shaken, and his spiritual consciousness gradually spread, and soon Xiao Mubai and others felt great pressure. Extreme 7th level. It's Agili from the Ada Gang tribe. Now, no need to guess, they have also thought of the identity of the person who came. It is the newly promoted 7th level powerhouse of the Ada Gang tribe, Agili. Behind Agili, a group of figures quickly appeared. It was a group of powerful men from the Ada Gang tribe.
From the half-step world venerable to the ordinary strong men, all those who were in the tribe came out.
You too, if you want to fight, please go farther away and fight. This is the territory of my Ada Gang tribe. Agili, who is the leader, is a strong young man about 2 meters tall. He is dressed in a loose white robe, with short hair, a resolute face, and abyss-like eyes. When he spoke, his tone was quite unkind. Agili! At this time, seeing Agili appearing, Lei Hong's law clone passed through sound transmission. Agili, join hands with me. How about destroying this Ling Tian's law clone? You and I are both top powerhouses in the upper 3 realms. Presumably you don't want the middle realms of the Nishan realm to rise up and be on an equal footing with our upper 3 realms, right? In Lei Hong's view, as long as Agili is willing to take action and destroy Duan Lingshan's law clone, he will be able to kill this newly promoted world venerable from the god-defying realm. This newly promoted world venerable from the Nishan realm. Here comes the real one. If you can really kill the opponent, you will make a lot of money. Agili! At this time, after Agili spoke, everyone's eyes, including Duan Lingtian, also fell on Agili. Chapter 46-25. Hearing Lei Hong's sound transmission, Agili also glanced at Duan Lingshan's law clone for the first time, and then looked at Xiao Mubai. He guessed Lei Hong's purpose. Destroying Duan Lingshan's law avatar, everyone knows that it will have little impact on Duan Lingtian. However, the newly promoted world venerable from the god-defying realm did not come from the avatar of the law, but from the deity. In the past, Lei Hong's law avatar appeared in Mingguang realm, intending to kill Jesuan Zhang Shan, but was killed by Duan Lingtian himself. He had already heard about it. It was also because of this that he knew that as long as he stepped into the 7th level of Xian, the avatar of the law would no longer be the same as before. His eyes would be dull, and he could tell at a glance that it was the avatar rather than the deity. Moreover, when he broke through recently, he found that his originally condensed law avatar, those godless eyes, were all endowed with spirituality, and at first glance it was no different from the deity. Of course, if you probe deeply with your spiritual sense, you can still detect abnormalities. Lei Hong, now we only have 2 7th level Xians in the upper 3 realms. Offending Duan Lingtian is equivalent to offending 2 7th level Xians in the god-defying realm at once. Agili responded indifferently. So, I'm not interested in your suggestion. What's more, he didn't communicate with Lei Hong through sound transmission, but directly spoke back. As soon as these words came out, the surrounding group of people were in an uproar. Lei Hong actually invited Agili to attack Duan Lingtian together? This Lei Hong is trying to pull Agili into his own camp, and together target Duan Lingtian. Obviously, Agili didn't intend to talk to him. That's natural. There is no enmity between Agili and Duan Lingtian, so why bother to provoke Duan Lingtian? You know, even if Duan Lingtian knew that Lei Hong was behind the Qinghong sacred sect, he still killed the Qinghong sacred sect's lord and the world venerable. Agili dares to join forces with Lei Hong. Maybe Duan Lingshan's deity will come in person later, and directly attack the Ada Gang tribe. Speaking of others, they felt that even if Agili offended the other party might not take action against the Ada Gang tribe. But Duan Lingtian is different. This one has a criminal record. Laugh. After Agili rejected Lei Hong, Duan Lingshan's legal avatar sneered. Lei Hong, if you want to destroy my legal avatar, I advise you to let your real deity come here in person. However, according to my estimation, you may not have the guts. After the sneer, there is sarcasm. Of course, it can be regarded as an above-board aggressive method. At this moment, Duan Lingtian is not only the law avatar, even his true self has already come to this primordial realm, hiding behind the nearby space barrier. As long as Lei Hong's true self dares to show up, he can keep Lei Hong here forever today. Speaking of which, he came out this time just for fishing. Fish and kill Lei Hong. As for why he suddenly had this idea, it was because Xiao Mubai said that many people went to the primordial realm to see if Aguli had returned to his own forces, so as to judge whether it was easier for Aguli to cross the tribulation than Lei Hong. After all, Lei Hong was injured for decades before returning to Qinghong Shengzong. If Aguli was also seriously injured, it would be impossible to turn back to the forces behind him so quickly. He had a flash of inspiration and felt that Lei Hong might also pass by. Therefore, let Xiao Mubai himself go to the Adagang tribe in the Hongmeng realm, and he uses his body plus the law of time to hide in the dark to protect Xiao Mubai. This time fishing, he also thought that he might only be able to catch Lei Hong's clone of the law, but he still had a thought in his heart. What if Lei Hong's deity is really there? Because of this, when the law of Lei Hong appeared, he only appeared with the law of time, and the deity was still hiding well, and had no plans to come out for the time being. At least, until Lei Hong's deity shows up, his deity will not come out. Snort. Hearing Agul's response, Lei Hong glanced at him indifferently, then snorted coldly. In the end, the law clone quickly retreated, preparing to flee. However, how could Duan Lingtian let him leave? The law of time avatar immediately pursued and blocked him, fought fiercely with him again, and once again set off a storm in all directions. The space is sunken and collapsed, and the more you fight, the more intense it is. And with the passage of time, Duan Lingshan's law of time avatar has completely gained the upper hand. As for the Adagang tribe, Aguli, who appeared to protect them, no longer suffered any losses. Now, besides observing Duan Lingtian and Lei Hong's law clone battle, many of the crowd watching are also observing Aguli, and there is no sign of Aguli being injured at all. You said, the Aguli who is showing up now, is the avatar of the law, or the deity? I don't know, I can't tell. Now, if he doesn't make a move, unless the existence above the 7th level of Xion investigates him deeply with spiritual consciousness, it may be difficult to confirm whether it is the deity or the clone of the law. A group of half-step world venerables observing Aguli whispered to each other through sound transmission. Aguli himself, while protecting the Adagang tribe, watched the battle between Duan Lingtian and Lei Hong's deity, and his heart was awe-inspiring. This Lingtian is really a monster. How old is it? Not only the law of space has been comprehended to the state of great perfection, but even the law of time has been comprehended to the state of lesser perfection. Although, he already knew that Duan Lingtian had stepped into the 7th level of Xion. However, in his opinion, Duan Lingtian was able to survive the Taboo Realm catastrophe because of his age after all, because he was a high-ranking deity, and the difficulty of crossing the catastrophe was not as difficult as that of the strongest. He didn't expect Duan Lingtian to comprehend the second law to the state of small perfection. After all, it requires a high level of comprehension and takes a long time. Who would have thought that Duan Lingtian not only did it, but this law is also one of the 4 supreme laws like the law of space. Lei Hong's law avatar is about to be defeated. When the idea of Aguli had just arisen, Lei Hong's law avatar finally couldn't resist Duan Lingshan's law avatar's storm-like offensive, and was defeated in one fell swoop. Before Lei Hong's law clone was defeated, Lei Hong also left a sinister word. Duan Lingtian, I will let you know that being an enemy of Lei Hong is the worst decision you have ever made in your life. At the same time as the ruthless words fell, Lei Hong's legal avatar was also wiped out. From beginning to end, his deity did not show up. You didn't come? Although he was mentally prepared, Duan Lingtian was still a little disappointed at this moment. It would be great if Lei Hong himself came, and he took this opportunity to eliminate this hidden danger. It's a pity that Lei Hong was too careful. At this time, Aguli faced Duan Lingshan's law clone from the air. Brother Duan Lingtian, I, Aguli, admire how strong your law clone is. Looking at the current world, among all the existences who have stepped into the 7th level of the strongest, I am afraid that no one's law clone can be as strong as your law clone. The most powerful person in the world, the law that he is best at follows the deity closely, and that law cannot condense the law clone. Law clones that can only condense the rest of the laws. As soon as Aguli opened his mouth, he was expressing goodwill to Duan Lingtian, which was completely different from Lei Hong's attitude towards Duan Lingtian. As the saying goes, if you don't raise your hand to hit a smiling person, Duan Lingtian turned around and looked at Aguli from a distance, and said with a calm smile, Brother Aguli, it seems that you have hidden your strength in the past. Lei Hong, I'm afraid I don't deserve to be as famous as you. Chapter 46-26. What Duan Ling Tian said was not intended to flatter the other party, but to tell the truth.
He saw that the Agili in front of him was not a clone of the law, but the deity.
To be precise, it was Agili who took the initiative to protect the Ada Gang tribe just now.
Although he concealed it, the power of the law faintly mobilized was still detected by the Jingshi Shui of the small world in his body.
After confirming that Lei Hong's deity is not there, after destroying Lei Hong's law clone, his deity also came out from behind the space barrier, hiding in the dark and looking at this place.
Water system law. The world-cleaning water of the small world in his body is keenly aware of the laws of the water system.
In addition, he has long heard that Agili, the top world master in the Hongmeng world, is good at the laws of the water system.
From this, it is not difficult to judge that the other party is the deity.
The deity showed up, and obviously had no injuries. It can be seen that he passed through the taboo realm with great ease. Even if he was injured, he healed when he broke through.
Hearing Duan Lingshan's words, Agili secretly sucked in a breath of air, and naturally heard the hidden meaning in Duan Lingshan's words. This genius and strong man from the god-defying realm was really extraordinary, and he discovered that he came from the deity. He has suppressed the laws of the water system that resonated with his power in the world as much as possible.
Taking a deep breath, Agili smiled and said, "My past strength, I didn't deliberately hide it, it is indeed comparable to Lei Hong. It's just that before facing the taboo realm and the catastrophe this time, I have taken my achievements in other laws one step further."
As soon as Agili said this, Duan Ling Tian suddenly realized that it was exactly as he thought. The world master of the Thousand Worlds could rely on the other laws to help each other, so that the taboo realm of catastrophe would no longer be difficult.
Of course, the most important thing is the help of the 3 heavenly talismans.
After all, there used to be an incomparably monstrous Jesuin in the 10,000 realms who comprehended 2 or 3 laws at the same time and reached the state of Zogshan, but still died in the taboo state.
The others present, including Xiao Mubai, heard the exchange between Duan Ling Tian and Aguli, and felt awe-inspiring for a moment.
From Lord Duan Lingshan's words, Lord Agili is the deity, and he didn't suffer any injuries.
Master Agili is ready to make the rest of the laws go one step further, and successfully overcome the tribulation with the powerful avatar of the laws. In comparison, Lei Hong and Fang Yifan are taking risks in crossing the catastrophe. Lei Hong narrowly escaped death and succeeded, but Fang Yifan died. I think that although this lord has said it lightly, the actual situation is definitely not the case.
The rest of the law power he has mastered may have already reached the threshold of breakthrough.
Otherwise, how could he have prepared it in such a short period of time and succeeded in crossing the tribulation? There was a chatter among the crowd. However, they could be considered to have obtained the answers they wanted on this trip, and after recovering, many of them left. Those who left, in addition to greeting Agili respectfully, also took the initiative to greet Duan Lingshan's law clone. "Brother Duan Ling Tian, since you're here, why don't you come in and have a drink with me?" Agili asked with a smile. "Good." Duan Ling Tian responded, "Agreed," and at the same time, the law clone stepped out and arrived at Agili's side. "Don't forget to say to Xiao Mubai through sound transmission, 'Master Xiao, you go back. My deity will secretly you away.'" If Lei Hong himself dared to make a move on Xiao Mubai's way back, then he would let Lei Hong come and go. Xiao Mubai also left with the others, leaving Duan Lingshan's time law clone alone, and followed Agili into the Ada Gang tribe. The Ada Gang tribe, as the world venerable force in the Grand Mist realm, looks ordinary on the outside, but when entering the inner circle and passing through the fog formation, there is a world like a peach blossom garden that appears in front of Duan Ling Tian. Here the birds are singing and the flowers are fragrant, the smoke is faint, and it is a peaceful scene. Duan Ling Tian was personally invited by Agili to his training place, and chatted with him over wine. In the process, he also gained a detailed understanding of the primordial realm. During the conversation, Agili took the initiative to mention the 9 mysterious entrances shrouded in mist in the 3 major evil places of the god-defying realm. Not long ago, Duan Ling Tian learned from Zhang Shanku from the Ascension realm that besides the Bright Light realm, the Ascension realm and the Hongmeng realm have such places in the upper 3 realms. I have entered one of the mysterious entrances and suffered some injuries. I doubt the existence of the shot.
Either it is a strong man who is at the 6th level of the strongest, the kind who has comprehended various worlds and 4 ways to a very high level, or the existence of the 7th level of the strongest.
Agili guessed and said. Later, the words of the Tao of Heaven appeared, saying that you were the first person to survive the taboo realm after the cutoff of history,
and that your master was the first existence to step into the 7th level of the strongest. So, I think that the existence that hurt me in that mysterious place and forced me out should be the strongest 6th-level powerhouse who has mastered various high-level worlds in 4 ways. Hearing Agilist's judgment, Duan Lingtian shook his head. Brother Agili, your guess is probably wrong. My master also entered that place some time ago. Then, Duan Lingtian told about the fact that Nishan realm also has 9 misty mysterious places, and also talked about his master Feng Qingyang's feelings of fighting against the gatekeeper inside. The question of strength seems to be in the 8th level of Xian? After hearing Feng Qingyang's judgment from Duan Lingtian, Agili couldn't help but gasp. He didn't expect that things would be completely different from what he guessed. If that's the case, why does Tian Dao still say that we are the first few to step into the 7th level existence after the history is cut off? Agili was puzzled, very puzzled. What if the other party existed before the historical partition? Duan Lingtian asked back. As soon as these words came out, Agilist's complexion changed. If this is the case, everything can be explained. Later, Agili also learned about Duan Lingshan's attitude towards the mysterious place from Duan Lingtian. As long as it didn't affect him, he ignored it and didn't bother to investigate. However, during the next chat, Duan Lingtian saw that Agili was eager to try, and obviously wanted to explore the mysterious place. Really? After Duan Lingshan's law clone left, Agili left the Adagang tribe immediately. Entered a mysterious place shrouded in mist with this deity. This time, he took the initiative to fight the opponent. Even if you are mentally prepared, it is still inevitable to follow the trend and have an ending. Forced to retreat. Almost got hurt. So strong. Moreover, when it made a move, it didn't feel the presence of any heaven and earth. What does this mean? It means that the opponent didn't use the 4 ways of heaven and earth at all. Chapter 46-27. Its power is at least at the 8th level of Xian. Looking at the large fog in front of him, Agili gasped. Even if he came out a little later, although he would not be killed, he would definitely be injured. At this moment, he completely confirmed what Duan Lingtian had said to him. It's not that he doesn't believe in Duan Lingtian, but that he has a deep obsession with this mysterious place shrouded in mist. In the past, his master, whom he regarded as his biological father, died in it. He had always wanted to go in and investigate to see if he could know the truth about his master's death. If his master's remains were still there, he would also bury them. Therefore, even if Duan Lingtian told him about the danger, he, who has stepped into the 7th level of Xian, still intends to go in and find out. Unexpectedly. Even if he stepped into the 7th level of the strongest and entered this fog-shrouded place, it was still difficult to penetrate. The mysterious beast guarding the door forced him out as soon as he made a move. It must have existed before the historical partition. Otherwise, there would be no record of these 9 mysterious places in the Hongmeng realm in history. Among the upper 3 realms, apart from the Bright Light realm, there are places like this in the Primordial Meng realm and the Feather Transformation realm. According to what Duan Lingtian said, there are places like this in the Nishan realm. In other realms, I have heard that some realms have similar places. Taking a deep breath, Agili arrived at another mysterious place shrouded in mist in the Hongmeng realm. This time he was attacked by a powerful force again. However, he was prepared, but he still retreated unscathed. It's not that strange beast anymore. This is another strange beast. When you make a shot, the breath of strength is different. Of course, Agili doesn't have a tendency to be abused, but just wants to confirm one thing. That is, he wanted to see if the targets he encountered after entering every mysterious place shrouded in mist in the primordial realm were the same existence. In the past, even though he was a top world-respected person, he did not dare to try this easily. Now, he dared to try this when he was sure of getting out of his body. Continue. Then, Agili continued to go to the other 7 mysterious places shrouded in mist in the Hongmeng realm, but found that after entering the 7 places shrouded in mist, the strange beasts he encountered were not the same one. 9 different beasts. The strength is very strong, and the essence of power is definitely above the Xian 8th level. After confirming this point, Agili's complexion became solemn, and the sense of superiority he felt after stepping into the 7th level of Xian was also blown away at this moment. It turned out that although he was the 5th existence announced by the Tao of Heaven, he was not the 5th strongest existence under the Tao of Heaven in this world. In this world, there are also strange beasts that have survived before the historical cutoff. However, due to certain rules,
They are imprisoned in the mysterious place and cannot cross the border. Otherwise, the world will probably be in chaos.
It's also fortunate that they can't come out. Otherwise the world and the land outside the world, I'm afraid they would have been burned and blood flowed into rivers.
Agili secretly thought.
Not to mention the previous 10,000 realms and outer boundaries, the strongest ones were a group of world venerables and saints. Even now, a total of 5 transcendent world venerables and saints have been born in myriad worlds and outer worlds. In front of those mysterious beasts, they are still not enough to see at all. Heaving a sigh of relief, Agili pondered for a moment, and finally left the primordial realm. Went to God against realm. Agili. Duan Ling Tian didn't expect that not long after his time law avatar returned to the god-defying realm, Agili came to him. What? Brother Agili, have you gone to investigate that mysterious place? Duan Ling Tian asked with a smile. Yes. Agili nodded and then said in a deep voice. Brother Duan Ling Tian, I think what you guessed may be true. At least, the 9 fog-shrouded entrances of the primordial realm should lead to the same mysterious place.
I have entered all 9 entrances.
After entering, the aura of heaven and earth I sense is the same, but it is completely different from the world and the land outside the world. Having said that, he paused for a moment, and continued. I'm here to investigate the 9 fog-shrouded places in your god-defying realm.
But I don't know if you, Brother Duan Ling Tian, can lead me the way? There was a bit of expectation in Agili's eyes, and he wanted to confirm some things next. I have never been to those places. However, I can let someone take you there. Duan Ling Tian didn't notice the slightest hostility from Agili, and at the same time saw that he obviously wanted to study those places further. So he immediately found the World Lord Xiao Mubai. I've seen Master Agili. Seeing Agili, Xiao Mubai saluted repeatedly. Next, I will trouble World Master Xiao. Agili smiled friendly. Duan Ling Tian watched Agili leave. Half a month later, Agili came back with Xiao Mubai.
Brother Duan Ling Tian. This time, Agili's face was extraordinarily solemn, and at the same time he told Duan Ling Tian about his discovery. I know you are not interested in those places, but I still want to tell you about my latest discovery. I first went to the 9 fog-shrouded places in the Hongmeng realm, and found that there were indeed 9 entrances. In addition, after entering the 9 entrances, the 9 strange beasts I encountered were not the same one. It means that there are 9 entrances leading to different places. It may be the entrance to a mysterious place with 9 different directions. Of course, this was just my guess at first. Until the past half-month, I investigated the 9 entrances of the god-defying realm. I find, going through the 9 entrances, the 9 strange beasts I encountered that attacked me turned out to be the 9 strange beasts that I encountered when entering the 9 entrances of the primordial realm. Having said that, he paused, and then said, if the 9 entrances lead to the same place, it means that there are 9 areas in different directions corresponding to that place, and each is guarded by strange beasts. And if 9 entrances lead to 9 different places, that should be 9 mysterious places. And the 9 fog-shrouded places that exist in the major realms should be the entrances to the 9 mysterious places. Of course, I prefer to have only 1 mysterious place, rather than 9 places. It's the same as what I told you half a month ago. The aura of heaven and earth aura I sensed inside is almost the same. Although, Duan Ling Tian really has no interest in that mysterious place. But still couldn't help being a little surprised. There are 9 entrances, and the strange beasts encountered after entering are not the same? Wouldn't it be that there are 9 strange beasts that are suspected to be above the 8th level of Xion? After confirming this point from Agili, Duan Ling Tian frowned. He looked through the lifelong memory left by the old man Wukong again, but found that he had not touched the mysterious land in his memory. Even, the old man Wukong has never encountered any dangerous fog-shrouded land, and has never appeared. This is a bit strange. Old man Wukong existed before the historical partition. And according to my guess, the mysterious land was also left before the history was cut off, so the powerful beasts in it were not specially announced by the text of Heavenly Doge. But according to the memory of the old man Wukong, that mysterious place did not exist before the history cut off. Thinking of this, Duan Ling Tian shook his head and thought to himself, I'm afraid. Only the Tao of Heaven knows what's going on. However, seeing that Agili left the Nishan realm again and was about to go to the Feather Transformation realm, he had to sigh in his heart for Agilis hungry for knowledge. I hope this guy's exploration of that mysterious place won't cause any trouble. Shouldn't it be? After all, he was forced out every time.
And the strange beast inside can't come out every time. Chapter 46-28. Even after getting a better understanding of the mysterious place from Agili, Duan Ling Tian still had no interest. For him, nothing is more important than improving his own strength.
With that time and effort, it is better to further digest the memory left by the old man Wukong, and strive to have the strength comparable to the old man Wukong as soon as possible, and even surpass the old man Wukong.
When it really comes to that time, it is not too late to venture into the mysterious land in spare time and boredom. The 5th Xian and the 7th level also appeared. Next, I'm afraid there will be many Xian 7th level existences one after another. Duan Ling Tian secretly thought. At the same time, his eyes flashed sharply. I hope they can all be honest, if not, I don't mind killing them. With his current growing and rapid strength, he is really not afraid of the existence of the 7th level Xian. This time, Agili left for a full 3 months. 3 months later, he appeared in front of Duan Ling Tian again. Brother Duan Ling Tian, I have been to many realms that are shrouded in mist, including the Ascension realm, and I have entered every entrance. I found that the 9 entrances of all realms lead to the same 9 places. The 9-headed beasts are still guarding the entrance. Speaking of this, his eyes flashed brightly. Though the strength of the 9 alien beasts is not weak, if we join forces with the strongest 7th level beings and cooperate with the joint attack formation, we may not be unable to kill them one by one. Before I came to you, I went to see Brother Meng Han from Bibo Tianfu, a place outside the boundary. He said that as long as you are willing to join the team, he will make a move.
Otherwise, the 4 of us will try together? He really wanted to know what kind of world was behind the guarded beast at the entrance of the mysterious place, and whether it would help him in his next practice.
If it helps, it is undoubtedly a great thing. Even if it doesn't help, it can satisfy his curiosity and obsession. He was really curious about that mysterious place.
Although, now he guesses that the 9 entrances all lead to the same place, but it is only a guess after all.
Unless he investigates and confirms himself, he can't confirm that it is really the 9 entrances of the same place.
Now, in 10,000 realms, and even in places beyond the realm, including him, a total of 5 strongest 7th level existences have been born.
Feng Qingyang, Duan Ling Tian, Meng Han, Lei Hong, and Agili. Meng Han bluntly said that as long as Duan Ling Tian agrees to join forces, he will also join. As for Feng Qingyang, he is Duan Lingshan's master. If Duan Ling Tian joins, he will definitely not be able to stay out of it. Lei Hong, who had a grudge against Duan Ling Tian, had no choice but to give up. Including him, there are 4 people in total. According to his calculations and estimates, it is enough to deal with any of the 9 strange beasts. Brother Agili, I have no interest in that place for now. Duan Ling Tian shook his head and declined Agili.
From Agili's extremely expectant eyes, it is not difficult for him to see Agili's curiosity and longing for the mysterious place, but he is really not interested in the mysterious place for the time being. Who knows if there is a more terrifying existence in it? The 9 alien beasts corresponding to the 9 entrances, with his current strength, even if he fights alone, he is not afraid.
But what about the back?
The gatekeepers are already so strong, so if it is said later that there is no stronger existence, it seems to be unreasonable, right? It is precisely because of this that he has no interest in the mysterious place that the 9 entrances lead to for the time being, and he is only thinking about digesting the memory of Old Man Wukong first, and it will not be too late to break into it when he has the strength of Old Man Wukong's peak period before his life.
Brother Duan Ling Tian. Agili really wanted to go in and find out, so he continued to persuade Duan Ling Tian. What's more, seeing Duan Ling Tian refuse again, he gritted his teeth and promised Duan Ling Tian a lot of benefits. Although it is not very useful to Duan Ling Tian, it is still of great use to Duan Lingshan's family and friends. However, the current Duan Ling Tian does not lack these things for the time being.
If you really want to lack it, you can exchange it with the forces of the Great World Venerables and Saints by bartering. In the end, after confirming that Duan Ling Tian had made up his mind, it was impossible to go to that mysterious place with him, so Agili could only say goodbye and leave, and after leaving the god-defying realm, his face became completely gloomy.
That Duan Ling Tian really didn't give me face. As the existence of the 7th level Xian, I was so humbled, and he still rejected me. Snort. Although he was not very happy, Agili did not intend to make Duan Ling Tian an enemy. This time, he went to Meng Han because of this matter, and also confirmed Meng Han's position from Meng Han's mouth, because Duan Ling Tian helped him enter the Tongtian Tower first, and got great benefits. He said that he stood by Duan Ling Tian unconditionally, and even as long as Duan Ling Tian needed it, he was more willing to join forces with Duan Ling Tian to deal with Lei Hong. That is to say, among the existence of the 7th level of the world's 5 most powerful, 2 of them are on Duan Lingshan's side. Not to mention that he is alone. Even if he joins forces with Lei Hong, it will be difficult for him to compete against Duan Ling Tian and the others. It seems that we can only wait. Wait until a few more Xian 7th level existences are born, and then join hands with them to explore the mysterious place behind the 9 mysterious entrances. There may be a huge opportunity waiting for us inside. If there is a chance, I may not be able to catch up with the latecomers and surpass Duan Ling Tian and the others. Thinking of this, Agili felt urgent again. Of course, despite the urgency, he didn't lose his mind. He thought that if he really wanted to join forces with others in the future, after dealing with the strange beasts at the entrance, and when he encountered a more powerful and irresistible existence, he still had to focus on saving his life. Opportunities are good, but the price of life is higher. In the reverse God realm, Duan Ling Tian continued to digest the memories left by the old man Wukong, and his strength was also improving step by step. There was no bottleneck obstacle along the way, or before he had the strength of the peak period of the old man Wukong, he was unlikely to encounter bottlenecks that were difficult to overcome. During this period, family members and friends also came to him for help. He always let the law of time come out, and the deity continued to improve his strength without distraction. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, another 100 years passed. On this day, the myriad worlds and the land outside the world trembled, just because the vision that everyone was familiar with appeared again in the sky, and then 2 lines of words of the way of heaven appeared one after another, appearing in front of everyone's eyes. Another person successfully survived the taboo realm of catastrophe. This person, after successfully crossing the catastrophe, immediately stepped into the strong 7th rank, becoming the 6th strongest 7th rank strongman after the history cut off. Chapter 46-29. Congratulations to Xueqi from the outside world, with the 6th level cultivation base of the strongest, successfully passed the taboo realm, and is expected to become the 6th strongest and 7th level strongman after the history cut off, surpassing the respected world and saints. Congratulations to Xueqi, the land outside the realm. After surviving the taboo realm, he successfully broke through and became the 6th, strongest, and 7th level existence after the historical barrier, surpassing Jesuan and saints. After 100 years, after Agili in the Hongmeng realm successfully crossed the catastrophe and broke through, there was another existence of the 6th level of the strongest, who successfully crossed the catastrophe, broke the shackles, and stepped into the 7th level of the strongest. Moreover, he is still a strong man in the outside world. This is also the 2nd existence in the outer worlds to be promoted to the 7th level of the strongest. The land outside the world is boiling. Ha! In the land outside our boundaries, there is finally a 2nd existence who stepped into the 7th level of Xion. Yes, there were 5 Xions of the 7th level in the past, 4 of them were experts from the myriad realms, and only 1 was from a place outside our realm. In recent years, when those cultivators from the myriad realms talked to us about this, their nostrils were upturned, as if they were the ones who stepped into the 7th level of the Xion. Our land outside the realm has a profound foundation, and sooner or later we will be able to surpass the 10,000 realms in terms of the number of the strongest 7th level powerhouses. Xueqi?
It seems to be the 7th city lord of the 13th city of the Western Jin dynasty in the Holy Wind realm?
It's her. The lord of the 7th city of the 13th city in the Western Jin dynasty has disappeared in recent years, and I almost forgot her existence. This is a monster among the rising stars. Yes, she used to be the youngest saint power recognized by our outside world. The 13th city of the Western Jin dynasty is the saint force of the Wind Sacred Realm, and it is a force with 3 saints. Many forces outside the world also exist like a ceiling. As the name suggests, the 13 cities of the Western Jin dynasty is a power that unites the 13 cities. Of course, the 13 cities are not close together, they are extremely far apart, and they are distributed throughout the customs clearance area of the 13 cities in the Western Jin dynasty, and each city has a powerful city lord. This force was originally an alliance force. However, later, under the leadership of several city lords, the 13 city lords became brothers and sisters. In the past, in the 13th city of the Western Jin dynasty, the Great City Lord, the Second City Lord,
and the seventh city lord were all saints and strong men, and the seventh city lord was a rising star, inheriting the position of the city lord from her master. Even so, after she inherited the position of city lord, her seniority also increased. In the past, when she was not the city lord, she had to call other city lords uncles and aunts, but now she just called them brothers and sisters, because the ranking of the city lords was determined by the city lords when they were sworn brothers, and it had been discussed and decided long ago and would not be changed.
Haha. Congratulations, seventh sister. A hearty laugh came from afar outside the Yuju city, and at the same time a figure appeared in the sky above the Yuju city's city lord's mansion in an instant. Yuju city is a huge city with a vast area. The city lord's mansion is located in the east of the city, surrounded by mountains and rivers, and connected to the mountains and rivers. Looking down from the sky, the city lord's mansion seems to be integrated with the mountains and rivers, regardless of you and me. At this moment, when I heard hearty laughter from the sky, and then saw that burly figure in the sky, it was a tall, thick-backed, bearded, thick-browed, big-eyed middle-aged man. Several figures flew out of the city lord's mansion one after another, and greeted him. "I've seen the great city lord. I've seen the great city lord." A few people who rose from the Yuju city lord's mansion in the sky respectfully saluted the visitors. "Why are you? Where are your city lords?" The middle-aged Choron looked puzzled when he saw the people in front of him. Could it be that the seventh sister hasn't come back yet? It should be. If seventh sister is here, seeing him coming, it is impossible not to come out. Could it be that the injury he suffered after crossing the catastrophe has not healed, so he hasn't come back yet? Thinking of this, a look of worry flashed in his eyes. "Great City Lord, our City Lord has just sent a message, saying that she has something to go to 10,000 realms and will come back later." An old woman among several people responded respectfully. These people are all semi-sacred powerhouses of Yuju City, and they are also the most powerful assistants under the command of Xueqi, the Lord of Yuju City. They usually take care of the affairs of Yuju City when Xueqi is practicing in closed doors. Go to 10,000 realms? The bearded middle-aged man frowned slightly, unable to figure out what that seventh sister was going to 10,000 realms for. Could it be that she had just broken through, her hands were itchy, and she wanted to go to 10,000 realms to find someone to learn from? As for the target, it is not difficult for him to guess.
There is a high probability that they are the two sword masters who first stepped into the seventh level of the strongest in the Nishan realm. His seventh sister is a sword cultivator herself, and is also recognized as the #1 sword cultivator in the 13 cities of the Western Jin dynasty. There are 4 ways of heaven and earth, and he also cultivates the way of swordsmanship. While the bearded middle-aged man frowned, another pleasant laughter like a silver bell came from a distance. "Seventh sister, congratulations. I never thought that you stepped into that realm before me and elder brother. It seems that even if I join forces with elder brother, we may not be your opponent." This silver bell-like laughter sounded like a child's voice at first glance. And when the person who came appeared above Yuju City, it was a girl who looked about 13 or 14 years old, with 2 braids on her head and pretty cheeks carved in jade. I felt pity for it. "Brother, you actually came faster than me." After the girl came over, she immediately saw the middle-aged man with beard and greeted him with a smile. "Meet the second city lord. Meet the second city lord." After seeing this girl, several semi-sages in Yuju City couldn't help showing a bit of jealousy in their eyes, and then saluted respectfully. It was as if, in their eyes, the second city lord was more terrifying than the first city lord. "Second sister." The middle-aged man smiled and nodded to the young girl. "This time, you and I are doomed to fail. Seventh sister, she has gone to 10,000 realms." "Go to myriad realms?" The girl was puzzled. What did seventh sister go to Wanjie? Immediately afterwards, after hearing his guess from the middle-aged man, the girl's eyes lit up. Seventh sister went to the god-defying realm? Is that the god-defying realm of the 7th level double Xeon? "Second sister, don't you want to go too?" The middle-aged man asked himself that he knew this second younger sister quite well, and it was not difficult to see what she was thinking. His second sister looks like a little girl, but in fact she is not young. At least it is enough to be the ancestor of the seventh sister. It's just that people are not old at heart, and they always show people in the form of a girl. Of course, he only dared to think about these things in his heart, because the last thing he, the second sister, wanted to hear was that someone said she was old. In her heart, she had always been only about 10 years old, and she had never changed from beginning to end. Against God realm.
Duan Ling Tian was stunned for a moment after receiving the message from World Master Xiao Mubai. That out-of-bounds powerhouse Xueqi, who has just stepped into the 7th level of the strongest, wants to ask me to learn swordsmanship with Master? He didn't expect that not long after he saw the text of Tian Dao, the other party came to his door. Moreover, the other party is also a sword cultivator? Lord, I'm not interested in competing with her. You can ask my master. Duan Ling Tian replied.
If he is just an ordinary 7th level powerhouse, he would be more than happy to have a visit from a powerhouse from the same realm to compete with him, because this is also an opportunity for him to learn and improve. But the problem is, now, in his eyes, competing with the other party is bullying the other party. Even in the way of swordsmanship, he has already successfully entered the 8th level after further digesting the memory of the old man Wukong.
Chapter 46-30. Duan Ling Tian felt that his master would most likely not decline the other party's challenge. And then, as the World Lord Xiao Mubai sent another message, what he said also confirmed what Duan Ling Tian thought. His master Feng Qingyang agreed to the challenge of Xueqi, a newly promoted 7th level strongman from outside the world. In this regard, he is not surprised. If the other party is good at other 4 ways of heaven and earth, his master may not answer. But the problem is, the opponent is good at swordsmanship. Being able to take a crucial step with the way of the sword shows that the opponent is also a wizard of swordsmanship. With such an existence, his master will also meet Lai Xinqi when he sees it. Not to mention that the opponent is now actively looking for him. Master Duan Ling Tian, now I'm taking this girl to Jili Tian to meet Master Feng Qingyang. She said that after the sparring with Master Feng Qingyang, she still wants to have a sparring with you. Xiao Mubai said again. If she can beat my master in 1 move and a half, I don't mind competing with her. If she is not as good as my master, let her stop humiliating herself. Duan Ling Tian said lightly. Bring shame on yourself? If others, including Xueqi himself, heard Duan Lingshan's words, they would definitely think Duan Ling Tian was arrogant. After all, they are all existences of the 7th level of Xian, and you actually said that the other party challenged you to humiliate yourself? However, Xiao Mubai understood Duan Lingshan's deepness, knowing that Duan Ling Tian not only stepped into the 7th level of the strongest with the way of swordsmanship, but also had extremely high attainments in the way of control and the way of infinity. Even if it doesn't reach the 7th level, it's probably close. And the 4 ways of heaven and earth can be displayed at the same time, unlike laws that are limited, and can only draw the power of 1 law at the same time. Okay, I'll tell her. Now the person communicating with Duan Ling Tian is not Xiao Mubai's real deity, but Xiao Mubai's avatar of law that is resident in the land of the gods, so that he can get in touch with Duan Ling Tian at any time. Because he knows very well that Duan Ling Tian is the guardian god with the thickest thighs in the current Nishan realm. On Duan Lingshan's side, he originally thought that this matter would be over, but did not expect. A month later, his master Feng Qingyang came. Master. What Duan Ling Tian didn't expect was that it wasn't just his master who came here, but also another young woman wearing a light green dress. The woman held a sheathed long sword in her hand. She had an extraordinary temperament and a peerless appearance. She stood there like an orchid in an empty valley, attracting everyone's attention. No need to think too much. Duan Ling Tian guessed the identity of this person. It should be the new Xian 7th level powerhouse from outside the world, Xueqi. He originally thought that the other party must have left after he fell into a disadvantage in the competition with his master. But he didn't expect that he hadn't left yet. Not only did he not leave, he even came to look for him with his master. Before that, he hadn't received any notice from the World Lord Xiao Mubai, which meant that Xiao Mubai didn't know about it either. Xiao Tian. Feng Qingyang responded. The embarrassment on his face flashed away, and then he introduced the woman beside him. This is Xueqi, the city lord of Yuzhou City, the 13th city of the Western Jin dynasty outside the boundary. At this moment, Duan Ling Tian could see the restraint of his master. What's the situation? Ever since he met his master for the first time, until now, this is really the first time he has seen his master have such a side. It looks reserved, but in fact it seems more like shy. After all, he is the father of 2 children and the man of 4 women. Duan Ling Tian quickly came to his senses, and his eyes swept back and forth between the 2 in front of him. It seems that there is really a situation. Moreover, seeing Xueqing's indifferent face at this time, it is not difficult to see that it should be only his master who is unrequitedly in love for the time being. This one may become the future teacher's wife. Thinking of this, Duan Lingtian didn't dare to take it too seriously, and looked at Xueqi with a smile on his face, and took the initiative to say hello. I have seen City Lord Xue. Although I saw the public announcement of the Tao of Heaven, I knew that City Lord Xue had stepped into the 7th level of Xian, but I didn't expect that City Lord Xue was actually a daughter. It's really surprising and admirable. Facing Duan Lingshan's compliment, Xueqi shook his head and chuckled. Fellow Taoist Duan has won the prize. Compared with you, I am nothing. 2 days ago, I learned about your real age from fellow Taoist Feng. At your age, I never even stepped into Xian. Xueqi is considered a very young and strong person in the outside world, about the same age as Feng Qingyang, and this alone makes her famous in the circle of saints in the outside world to the point where everyone in the world does not know the king. Therefore, when she learned about Duan Lingshan's real age from Feng Qingyang, she was really taken aback.
Before he came to the Nishan realm this time, he thought that Feng Qingyang and Duan Lingtian from the Nishan realm were far older than him, but he didn't expect that one of them was as old as him, and the other was more than 10,000 years younger than her.
It's all thanks to my master leading the way. Duan Lingtian smiled modestly, then looked at Feng Qingyang, blinked his eyes, and secretly said, Master, if you like someone, just go for it, I have never seen you so coy. Feng Qingyang didn't expect Duan Lingtian to see through her thoughts, and she couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed. Chuanin laughed and scolded. You kid, what are you talking about? Why do I like him? Don't talk nonsense. Hearing this, Duan Lingtian continued to transmit voice. Master, you really don't like it? If you really don't like it, I'll go for it. This guy feels pretty good in all aspects, and his strength is also strong. It's not bad to marry back home as a wife.
It can also improve the overall strength of the Nishan realm, by the way. After Duan Lingtian said it, he could see murderous look in his master's eyes.
Haha, just kidding. Repeatedly explained. This also made him further sure that his master really moved Fan Xin. Fellow Taoist is really powerful. When I competed with him, I fell into a disadvantage from the very beginning. If he hadn't been merciful, I might have lost. Xueqi looked at Feng Qingyang, with a pair of beautiful autumn eyes showing admiration.
Duan Lingtian smiled and said, Speaking of which, City Lord Xue, you and my master are quite destined.
Hearing this, Xueqi couldn't help being a little more curious when he looked at Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian continued, As we all know, my master is the first existence of the 7th level Xian born after the history is cut off, and he is also the first male monk to step into the 7th level Xian. And you, City Lord Xue, are the first female monk to step into the 7th level of the strongest after the history is cut off. Isn't this predestined relationship?
If City Lord Xue, you don't have a fellow Taoist, I want to draw a red line for you and my master.
My master has not married yet, and I have never had a confidant in the past. Duan Lingtian got straight to the point, ready to strike while the iron is hot, and strive to take down Master Mistress. Oh no! To help his master take down his wife. Chapter 46-31. It's worthwhile to accept him as a disciple when Xueqi, a woman and top genius in the outer boundary, became a saint at a young age. She shocked everyone. At that time, she was the youngest saint in the history of the outer boundary. Previously, those who held the record were all men. Not only did she break their records, but she was also the first woman to do so. For these reasons, she was famous in the outer boundary. Behind these achievements were Xueqi's blood, sweat, and tears. All her time was spent cultivating and learning from others to grow stronger. Day after day, year after year, her routine remained the same. In the end, her hard work paid off, and she became the youngest saint in the history of the outer boundary. Many female cultivators in the outer boundary regarded Xueqi as their idol. Among them, many of them were from the myriad world before moving to the outer boundary, like Huangfu Meng Yuan, Duan Lingtian's eldest senior sister from the Myriad Laws Academy's Inner Palace faction. Previously, when Duan Lingtian chatted with Huangfu Meng Yuan, he had heard mentioning Xueqi as well, and she even said that she wanted to be like Xueqi. At that time, Huangfu Meng Yuan deliberately hid the fact that Xueqi was a woman from Duan Lingtian, so he assumed he was a male cultivator. He thought his senior sister idolized the other party simply because the other party was extraordinarily talented. It was only later on that he realized Xueqi was a woman. Xueqi was completely focused on cultivation, so she did not have time for other matters such as marriage. As she grew stronger, quite a few people mentioned the matter of marriage to her, but she did not take them seriously.
Moreover, it was difficult for her to find a man about her age who was as strong as her, let alone find one that was stronger than her. She naturally had no interest in men who were inferior to her.
For this reason, she was single until now. In fact, her life was rather similar to that of Feng Qingyang. He also devoted himself to the sword Dao and to growing stronger. For that reason he had been single. It was also due to his inexperience that he did not know how to express his feelings to Xueqi. Xueqi was also inexperienced in this regard. Even if it was obvious that Feng Qingyang liked her, she did not notice it. She only thought that Feng Qingyang treated her as a friend until Duanling Tian asked if she was single and recommended Feng Qingyang. After that, she recalled how friendly Feng Qingyang had been, and she could not help but blush. At the same time, Feng Qingyang was embarrassed. He did not expect Duanling Tian to be so straightforward. He could not help but glare at Duanling Tian before he explained, "Miss Xue, he was just joking with you." Xueqi nodded and took a deep breath to calm down before she looked at Duanling Tian and said seriously, "Mr. Duan, I came here with Mr. Feng to spar with you. I heard Mr. Feng said that you're stronger than him. I really want to see it for myself." Duanling Tian smiled and said, "I don't mind sparring with you. However, I'm not very motivated since there's no prize or benefit to it." Little Tian, Feng Qingyang frowned. He did not expect Duanling Tian to make things difficult for Xueqi. After all, Duanling Tian knew he liked Xueqi. Why would he treat his master's future wife like that? Xueqi frowned slightly, but she still asked, "Then what kind of prize do you want?" Duanling Tian pretended to ponder a moment. He did not answer the question. Instead he calmly said, "How about this? Since your strongest Dao is the sword Dao, well, spar using the sword Dao. Well, attack with all our might, and if you can stop 3 of my attacks, you win. Otherwise you lose." Feng Qingyang raised his eyebrows slightly upon hearing this. At the same time, a hint of anger could be seen on Xueqi's face. After all, she was also a level 7 supreme powerhouse like Duanling Tian. She felt like he was looking down on her when he proposed determining the outcome of the match with only 3 strikes. "All right," Xueqi replied. Her voice was much colder than before. She really wanted to see how strong he was. In her opinion, even if according to Feng Qingyang, she was no match for Duanling Tian, the gap between their strength could not be that big. It was absolutely impossible for him to defeat her with 3 strikes. After a moment, she asked again, "What prize do you want? And if I win, what will I gain?" Duanling Tian smiled and said, "If you win, I'll owe you a favor. I'll do anything you ask as long as it doesn't violate my principles and it's within my capability." Xueqi's eyes lit up upon hearing this. This was indeed a valuable prize. Duanling Tian continued to say, "If you lose, you have to stay in the God-defying world for 1,000 years. To be precise, you have to stay in my master's heavenly emperor's palace in the solitary destructive heaven as a guest. Apart from that, you can't be in closed-door cultivation for more than 300 years during this time. Of course, during this time, you can return to the outer boundary if there's something urgent you have to attend to. However, you can't leave for more than a year at a time. In total, your time away can't exceed 10 years. Upon hearing this, Xueqi looked at Feng Qingyang, wondering if it was the latter's idea. Meanwhile, Feng Qingyang finally realized Duanling Tian's intention. He felt that it was really worthwhile accepting Duanling Tian as his disciple. However, when he saw the expression on Xueqi's face, he looked at her innocently and shook his head. "What do you think?" Duanling Tian asked. Striking the iron while it was hot, he continued to goad her. "Miss Xue, don't tell me you're not confident about stopping 3 strikes from me?" Who knew if Xueqi did not mind staying in the solitary destructive heaven, or if Duanling Tian's provocative words were effective. In the end she nodded and said, "All right, I agree." Chapter 46-32. Hearing Xueqing's agreement, Duanling's eyes flashed a light, and then nodded. "Since you agreed, fellow Taoist Xue, let's find a shattered small world to discuss. I will use 3 swords to determine the outcome." Then, Duanling Tian and the others directly tore apart the space, left the Nishan realm, and randomly found a small realm that had long been destroyed in the 10,000 realms, and the power of the realm had already been drained away, and there were no more living creatures. This kind of small boundary area is barren in the eyes, like locusts passing through.
Now, the place where Duan Ling Tian and the others stand in the air is just above the ruins of a city in this small world.
There are countless ruins in the ruins. Judging from the architectural style, it is completely different from any architectural style he knows. It looks different. There is style. It's a pity that it has been destroyed in the long river of history, and cannot see the glory of the past. What's more, at this time, the surrounding area where the three of Ling Tian stood in the air sometimes had strange turmoil in the space, and space cracks appeared on their own, and then slowly closed, appearing elsewhere, repeating itself again and again, which shows the weakness of the space barrier in this small world. Vulnerable. And this, in fact, is also the reason for losing the power of the boundary. The power of a realm is related to the rise and fall of a realm. Losing the power of a realm also means losing vitality, losing all aura in the realm, and the strength of any realm will fade with the passage of time, gradually decrease, or even disappear completely. In this case, the strong realm destroys the weak realm and seizes the power of its realm for its own use. Today's myriad realms, the upper 3 realms and the middle 18 realms are mostly ancient realms.
Under normal circumstances, the power of their realm should have disappeared in the long river of history, and even destroyed the realm. It is precisely because the powerful people in these realms are like clouds, invading the small realms everywhere, and seizing the power of the small realms to supplement themselves, they can survive for a long time.
The same is true for the anti-God realm. Otherwise, the God against God realm would have disappeared in the long river of history long ago. Among the cultivators, the weak will eat the strong, and the fittest will survive. The same is true between boundaries.
However, it is still the practitioners of the major realms that dominate the rise and fall of the realms.
Use your sword.
Xueqi opened his mouth slowly, and the ethereal and cold figure stood with his sword. His body was as straight as a sword, and bursts of fierce aura emanated from his body, as if his whole body had turned into a sword in a defensive posture at this moment, standing proudly in the sky between.
At this time, Feng Qingyang had already stood in the distance to watch the battle. At the same time, the spiritual consciousness is spread out, be vigilant in all directions, and prevent someone from approaching or even sneak attacking. Of course, the main thing is to guard against Lei Hong. Once a big war breaks out in the small world, it will definitely attract the most powerful people from all the powerful worlds. Lei Hong, as the existence of the 7th level of the strongest, will also be alarmed, and may even observe closely. If it is confirmed that the opponent is his disciple Duan Ling Tian and Lei Hong might show up. At that time, all he has to do is to contain Lei Hong in the first place and prevent Lei Hong from escaping. As long as his disciple regained his composure, it would not be difficult to keep Lei Hong. As for the bet between his disciple and the woman he likes this time, he naturally knows that there is no suspense. If his disciple really wants to be serious, even just a sword is enough to defeat the other party.
After all, this disciple of mine has not only stepped into the 7th level of swordsmanship, but also has extremely high attainments in the way of infinity and control.
According to his estimation, they are all at least at the 6th level.
These two are integrated into the way of swordsmanship, looking at the myriad worlds, and even the places outside the world. Who can be the enemy? This disciple of his really wants to strike with all his strength. Even if it is him, he doesn't think he can block his sword.
Good.
Facing Xueqi, who was ready and her pretty face was full of dignity, Duan Ling Tian said indifferently. His face was as calm as before, and he even yawned, then raised his hand unhurriedly, and struck out with a finger sword.
Call out.
In an instant, a terrifying sword light that seemed inconspicuous at first, but turned into a huge sword in the sky in an instant, directly splitting the sky in this small world into two, screamed and fell toward Xueqing's place. The space there is cracked, turbulent currents abound, and even vague illusions appear, as if turning all living beings upside down. These phantoms come from Duan Lingshan's space law, refracting some scenes in the surrounding realms in the form of spatial mirror reflection. Of course, this was not intentional by Duan Ling Tian. Instead, the law of space activates itself. In the face of Duan Lingshan's menacing sword, Xueqi also moved, and the same sword was slashed out. The momentum was rolling, the sword glow swept up like a hurricane, but she stood in the heart of the storm, but she remained motionless. Even her body, there has never been any turmoil in the clothes. The extremely bright sword light appeared in this small world, as if overwhelming the world, unrivaled, invincible, mighty and fierce, facing Duan Lingshan's first sword.
Soon, the two sword glows collided together.
In the next moment, after a short period of tranquility, terrifying power erupted from it, sweeping in all directions, completely annihilating the small world that was originally fragmented and shaky. the small realm trembled and collapsed, and the remaining realms barely blocked the aftermath of the power from the eruption, but the remaining power of the realms was also lost a lot. Second sword. Duan Lingtian opened his mouth again, and continued to slash out with the second sword, which was slightly stronger than the first sword.
Of course, it's only slightly stronger. This sword, just like before, was stopped by Xueqi. At this moment, Xueqi was slightly disappointed. I feel like I was fooled by fellow Taoist Feng. Didn't it mean that Duan Lingtian, his disciple, is stronger than him? It's also because Feng Qingyang doesn't know what Xueqi thinks in his heart. If he knows, he will be extremely wronged. This kid until now has not used the way of control and the way of infinity. He knew that Duan Lingtian was holding back, and was preparing for the third sword to make a real move, defeating the woman he admired with one sword, so that the other party had to fulfill the bet promised earlier. Everyone, I am Feng Qingyang from the God-defying realm. This is my disciple Duan Lingtian and fellow Taoist Xueqi from outside the realm. In order to avoid misunderstanding, please step back. When Duan Lingtian made the second sword, many powerful people from Wanjie came from a distance because of curiosity, but before they got close, they were warned by Feng Qingyang, and then they noticed Feng Qingyang's domineering spiritual consciousness enveloped their heads, and they retreated one after another while their faces were solemn. No wonder there is such a big commotion. It turns out that Duan Lingtian from the Nishan realm and Xueqi, the newly promoted 7th-level powerhouse from the outer realm, are exchanging ideas. Two great existences of the 7th level of the strongest are fighting, and there is an existence of the 7th level of the strongest standing aside. This scene is really scary. It's a pity that Mr. Feng Qingyang obviously doesn't intend to let us watch. Otherwise, if we can watch this match with our own eyes, it may be helpful to our cultivation. I heard that the newly promoted 7th-level powerhouse from the outside world is also a sword cultivator like Lord Feng Qingyang and Lord Duan Lingtian. And when everyone receded in amazement, Lei Hong, who had just sneaked out of the bright light realm and was hiding in the dark, also received the news. His eyes suddenly lit up. Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang have left God against God realm. Chapter 46-33. This is a good opportunity to enter the God-defying realm.
That brother Duan Lingtian, the people who care about are all in the gods' plane of the gods against the gods, the land of the gods, and they are mainly concentrated in the Xia family, the land of the gods.
Lei Hong's eyes were bright, and he felt that he had found a good opportunity for revenge, and he couldn't easily miss it. After all, now not only Duan Lingtian, but also Feng Qingyang has left the God-defying realm. Although Feng Qingyang may not be the deity who left, Duan Lingtian must be the one who competed with Xueqi, a newly promoted 7th-level powerhouse in the outside world and outside the world. The deity is undoubtedly. If it weren't for the deity, there would be no need to compete with the other party. The place left by the gods, the Xia family. Taking a deep breath, Lei Hong became more and more excited, and at the same time calmed down a little after being excited for a while. Duan Lingtian, the deity is outside, and the clone of the law of time must be staying in the God-defying realm, and it is likely to stay in the Xia family, the land left by the gods. His time law clone is too strong. Even if I recondense the strongest law clone, it is not the opponent of his law clone, and there is no way to do anything to the people of the Xia family. Last time in the Hongmeng realm, his strongest law avatar was defeated by Duan Lingshan's time law avatar, which allowed him to see how powerful the law avatars of the 4 supreme laws are, so that he has been mainly studying the 4 supreme laws recently. I want to improve the law of death that I am good at. If his law of death can step into the realm of small perfection and condense the clone of the law, he will not be afraid of Duan Lingshan's clone of the law of time, because Duan Lingshan's law of time is also at the level of small perfection. We must hurry up. Let's just go for a trip. Taking a deep breath, Lei Hong made up his mind, with a look of madness flashing in his eyes. Duan Lingtian, you dare to attack the sect behind me, and even kill the Jesuin in my sect. This is completely disrespecting me. Hong put it in his eyes, and rubbed my Lei Hong's face on the ground. In fact, he didn't have much affection for the sect behind him. Even if the deceased Jesuin died, he didn't feel much. He is a selfish person with weak emotions. How could he be in the life and death of others? What he cares most about is his face. When Duan Lingtian shot at the sect behind him, he was hitting him in the face. Ever since Duan Lingtian took the shot, there have been rumors everywhere in the bright light realm that Duan Lingtian doesn't take Lei Hong seriously. Even saying that even though Lei Hong and Duan Lingtian are the same as the 7th-level powerhouse, He has no courage find Duan Ling Tian for revenge in the back. When he heard such words, he was so angry that he killed all those gossiping people. He, Lei Hong, would be afraid of Duan Ling Tian? What a joke! If it weren't for Duan Lingshan's good relationship with Meng Han from the outer boundary, if it wasn't for Duan Lingshan's master named Feng Qingyang, if it weren't for Meng Han and Feng Qingyang being both Xian 7th-level existences, Lei Hong would never have taken revenge on Duan Ling Tian? Tear. Lei Hong made a decisive decision, directly tore apart the space, and prepared to sneak into the Nishan realm, kill the Xia family, the land left by the gods, and destroy the Xia family that Duan Ling Tian cared about, which made Duan Ling Tian feel distressed, and even regretted the past. Face. And at the same time as Lei Hong left, Duan Ling Tian also made the third sword in the sparring with Xueqi. Before cutting out this sword, he intentionally reminded Xueqi, "Fellow Taoist Xue, with the two swords just now, I was just testing your methods casually. This third sword is my real strength. You have to deal with it with all your heart. Don't wait to lose the bet. Blame yourself for not being careful." Duan Ling Tian reminded Xueqi in advance that the future teacher in front of him was not convinced. Good. Xueqi immediately became vigilant when she heard the words. Just now, because of the casual mentality that she could easily deal with the previous two swords, she also completely restrained herself. Her intuition told her that it was unlikely that fellow Taoist Feng would lie to her, and that fellow Taoist Duan should really be a big deal. Call out. When Duan Lingshan's third sword was slashed out, the wind and cloud shook in an instant, and all the turbulence in the surrounding space was shattered, as if half of it had been turned into nothingness. Terrible power swept in all directions, as if shaking the 9 heavens and 10 earths, with an overwhelming momentum. And in the next moment, it was this earth-shattering attacking gesture, which instantly restrained its sharpness and condensed itself. The sword light that flew out seemed to have become a low profile in a blink of an eye. This sword, Duan Ling Tian didn't keep it anymore, and showed the 8th level of swordsmanship. The previous two swords only stimulated the 7th level kendo. As for the way of control and the way of infinity, he didn't intend to use it, thinking that it would be too bullying, and now he doesn't have the need to rely on those two methods. Using stronger swordsmanship can make this future master who is also a swordsman convinced. The 8th stage. Xueqing's expression changed. She originally thought that even though Duan Ling Tian had hidden a lot of strength, his swordsmanship was at most close to the 8th level of swordsmanship, but she didn't expect that Duan Lingshan's third sword cut turned out to be the 8th level of swordsmanship that was completely above the 7th level. Even if it's the breeze on the side, it still looks dull at this moment. He originally thought that his disciple was going to rely on a method in the way of infinity or the way of control to suppress his favorite woman. But it never occurred to him that his disciple stepped into the 8th level one step ahead of him. In the past, he said to the outside world that his disciple was better than Blue, and he was talking about the overall strength of his disciple. If he really wanted to talk about swordsmanship alone, he asked himself that he was still not surpassed by his disciple. Unexpectedly, his disciple walked ahead of him in the way of the sword without making a sound. This made him feel very complicated. This time, his disciple is really better than Blue in all aspects. Call out. Although Xueqi confirmed that Duan Ling Tian had mastered the 8th level kendo, she was not intimidated. She still tried her best to deal with it. She also wanted to see the difference between the 8th level kendo and her 7th level kendo. The difference. Moreover, when Duan Ling Tian slashed out with this sword, she also discovered and understood something from this sword, as if there was something worth learning from. Duan Lingshan's sword is driven by the law of space, cutting through the void. It is the sword of space. And Xueqi is good at the law of life. A sword rises into the sky, and the halo flows, as if life is sublimating. The next moment, the sword glows of the two collided together. Different from the previous two times when they were evenly matched, this time after half of Duan Lingshan's sword light was annihilated, he forcibly wiped out Xueqing's sword, and the remaining sword light was cut out unabated. Duan Ling Tian saw the doubtful look on Xueqing's pretty face. His eyes suddenly calmed down, as if he lost his mind for a moment, and his face changed suddenly. Just when he was about to make a move, he saw that his master, Feng Qingyang, had already made a move. Call out. The sword light of time cut through the void, making time and a space seem to be frozen, no longer moving forward, and the sword light of Duan Ling Tian was also affected. This sword, and the rest of Duan Lingshan's sword, died together, but the aftermath of power still swept towards Xueqi. Feng Qingyang set out to protect Xueqi. This is Epiphany. After the aftermath of the power dissipated, Feng Qingyang turned to look at Xueqi, only to find that Xueqi had entered a mysterious state, and after confirming that she had an epiphany, she immediately looked helpless. This girl, is she too worried about him and his disciples? This is putting their lives in the hands of the two of them. At this moment, before Duan Ling Tian had time to see Xueqing's situation, his pupil shrank suddenly. Region? The land left by God in Nishan realm is a part of the small world in his body, and he discovered it as soon as Lei Hong himself arrived. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.